Sick, dude. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, of course, huh? Of course, I had to do it.
Yeah, dude. It's been what was it like? I think I came into your shop on Thanksgiving Day, 2024. So little, little over a year.
Yeah, yeah. What are we, 26 now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's been more than a year, bro.
yeah,
It's
yeah. It
been like a
was.
year and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's already March. Damn, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Time flies, man. It's wild.
Yeah, yeah. I was just thinking about that the other day because a lot of people make their New Year's resolutions, and it's like, dude, it's already March.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to think of that. What was that, like 10 weeks, 9 weeks already gone by?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. But I know just between like talking with you in your chair and just, obviously we started working together for the fitness and stuff. You're a cool dude, got some cool stories, and I was like, dude, let's hop on a podcast and
Appreciate it, bro.
get it going.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just start back, dude. Where you from?
I'm from, I was born in Mexico.
Oh, really? What
I
part?
was born in Morelia, Michoacan. I was supposed to be born in California. I was supposed to be born in Riverside. That's the story I was told, anyways. You know what I mean? But last minute, my parents got a little crazy and decided, let's go have them out in Mexico. And so they had me out there, and I came here. I was probably about 3 months old, I think. I still got my green card from that, like a baby. And they lived out in New Plymouth for, I don't know, man, forever, bro. Forever. I moved out to Ontario when I was
So how old were you when you moved back to the States?
like 3 months. They literally just ran out there, had me, and then came right back, dog.
Just they
Doesn't make
wanted you
any
to go to Mexico or what?
Doesn't make any sense. All my brothers and sister, they're all born here, all born in Ontario, all citizens, dude. They decided to, because I was the firstborn son. I think it was my father's idea. He was like, you know what, I wanted him to be born where I was born. So
Oh,
they
okay.
took me out there, had me, and then brought me back. And yeah, I was living out in New Plymouth that's where my childhood was lived out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on New Plymouth. So what were you doing? What were you doing out there, man? I know you were telling me some crazy stories about in your teenage years, but
Oh man,
but
yeah.
earlier on, what was that like?
It was cool, dog. It was honestly, I see the climate the way it is now, like with our kids and stuff, man. And I would never, I can't let my kids walk out the door without me. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't fathom them walking down the street without me somewhere behind them to watch them, dog. And when I was growing up, that was the opposite. It was see you later. You know what I mean? You wake up, eat your cereal, watch your cartoons, and then you're gone for the day, right? You're out riding bikes, jumping ramps. You know what I mean? Playing hide and seek. Didn't come home until the lights came on, right? The street lights.
Yeah.
It was cool, bro. We used to walk to school every day. I lived right across the street from the high school. There was a trailer park there. And that's where all the Mexicans live, basically. You know what I mean? From the town. We all lived right there, and we would just walk to school, elementary school, middle school, all that. It was a safe town, bro. It was cool. It was safe, but there was a lot of racism. You know what I mean? We grew up in that. We had a gun, or a cop pulled a gun on us one time. We were walking back from middle school on our way home, and it was me and my two buddies. And this cop just comes just whizzing by, and we're like, "Damn, that's crazy." We kept walking, man, and then he turned back around, came out, and then just pulled up right in front of us, gun drawn, and we were just like, "Yo, like, what do we do?" We're walking home from school, and he said he got a report that some kids were jumping some other kid or something, and he thought we fit the profile. So,
Oh,
stupid,
geez.
yeah, stupid ass incidents like that. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff grew up with, and then like my family, dog, I come from a background of a lot of dope dealers. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, really?
that's what I saw growing up was just people just dealing dope, man, and yeah, they were on the shit list, bro. They were on. There was one specific police officer. They were on his shit list, man. So every time he saw me driving, I wasn't supposed to be driving, dog. I was like 12. You know what I mean? Like, I would just take off in my whip. My parents would be at work all day, so I'd take off, and anytime he'd spot me, man.
What kind of
pull me
car was
over.
it?
It was a '84 Z28 Camaro. It's my first car.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
At 12 years old, you're driving that one?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's how I learned, dog. That was the one I learned in. It was just one day I just they were at work, and I think it was spring break. I didn't have nothing to do, and I saw the keys, and I was like, shit, I want to learn how to drive. So I started driving myself around town, and I'd pick up my boys, and we'd cruise around and shit. But then, yeah, once the cop, caught on that I was driving around, he'd pull me over just to basically interrogate me about like, where's your cousins, where's your
Oh,
dad, you know what I mean?
like your family was kind of known then.
Oh yeah, but by police officers for sure, for sure. He was on them, bro. He was itching. You know what I mean? He wanted to get him so bad, man. Yeah, and he never got him. He never got him. He got me a bunch of times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got me a bunch of times, but he never really got there, man. One of my uncles he got caught up at the feds. He got snitched on, and then he did some prison time. And once that happened, everyone just split. All of a sudden, I went from having a ton of family to no family.
Was it kind of like a family business in that, like the drug dealing or kind
It
of
was
thing? Like you guys were all working together? Or not you
I don't.
guys,
I
but
didn't know too much of the ins and outs. I can only tell you what I saw from the outside in, right?
yeah, yeah.
It seemed like it was just family shit. You know what I mean? Like all my cousins, uncles. I think my dad played a small part in that. Um, yeah, they were all in the business. And I mean that's what I saw. It looked like they kind of were all just working together, along with other people from that same town and stuff. That's kind of what it looked like to me. That never got, I never really never got involved with them as far as like their dealings and stuff. I think I was too young. Um, but definitely it influenced kind of where I drove my life to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At some point, I think that influenced me a lot. I want that fast money, right?
Like that hustle culture?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, man. It was something about. I've been hustling my whole life, man. You know what I mean? Like we were working field jobs when we were, I want to say like 9 years old. My sister was, I think, 10 or 11. The first time we started working field work, dog.
Just like the onion fields out there and stuff? Or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. So the culture is different now, right? I mean, I don't see little kids doing it anymore. But when we were growing up, there were certain contractors that would take on, and like my pops knew them, bro. And he would tell them, hey, I want to bring my kids to work. And they'd be like, cool, just do it this way. So we'd be out there working under other people's names.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just, we're this big, dog, with a big ass hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see,
What
yeah,
would
it
you
was
be
crazy.
doing?
Everything, bro. We would work, what are they called? The sugar beets. We'd work those and basically just, um, you just to clean them up. Basically, you take all the weeds, scrape all the weeds out from the fields. Corn, potatoes, asparagus. Um, my least favorite, man, was zucchini, and to this day I won't even eat zucchini. That was
Really?
my worst experience in my life, dog. When I was a kid.
What's wrong with those?
Oh man, bro. So at that time, it was just me and my mom working. My sister and brother, they got a break, dog, in the mornings, right? They wake up. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, it's cool.
Because they're ladies? Your sister and mom, you said?
No. My sister and my little brother would get a break, right?
Oh,
My mom
okay.
would because at this time, my dad was, he was a firefighter for the BLM.
Okay.
So he'd be out on fires, and it would just be me and my mom going to work and stuff. So, yeah, and we worked. My dad wouldn't even work the zucchini, bro. It was tough. It was tough, man. It was just you're bent over all day. The zucchini, it has to be a certain size. They give you a 5-gallon bucket, and there's this tractor, man, and it's up quite a ways, and so basically you have to keep up with the tractor, and so you're carrying this 5-gallon bucket. They dump it, give it back to you.
Oh, jeez.
You fall behind, man. It's hot. You're sweating. When you reach it, and like you have to have gloves because they have like little
Yeah, little needle things on them or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Don't
Pokers.
scratch the
Yeah.
shit out of you, bro. Mosquitoes.
Yeah,
were
even the
wild.
leaves are bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was dog shit, man. I remember I faked being sick that day. I made myself throw up, bro. Just poking my throat and just right. And my mom was like, "You good?" I'm like, "Nah, I feel sick, man." We take off, bro. And probably like 20 minutes up the road. She's like, "How you feeling?" And I was like, I can go for a burrito right now. You know what I mean? And she was just like, "You like?" And I was like, "Yeah, it sucks. I don't want to do that anymore." So, just one of those things. That was the worst one for me. But yeah, we did all kinds of field work, man, and it was good memories. There was a lot of good memories. There was a lot of shitty memories, but
Did you guys get some money out of it or no?
yeah. So basically, the way my dad was structured was he takes a check, we get a check. You know what I mean? And for him, it was always, oh, we're going to Mexico later on this year. I'm gonna save that money and you can spend it over there. We never saw a dime. You know what I mean? Sometimes the way it worked back then though was like sometimes, and I think even nowadays I hear some whisperings of it. These contractors, bro, they because a lot of it's not on the up and up, right? A lot of the workers are undocumented or like in our case we were children, right? They won't pay you sometimes for a month or two. You know what I mean? That just you come get your check. Oh, next time. Come get your check again. You know, another 2 weeks later. Oh, next time. And you sitting there like, what the fuck's going on? You know,
Really?
gotta
They're
get
taking
paid.
advantage of it?
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna call? You know what I'm saying? So there was times like that, man, where we'd just be beaten down, just a month and a half waiting for a check, you know. And we're little kids, dog. We're 9, 10 years old. So, you know, back then it was. I think we were getting paid like $4.25 an hour or something like that. Be out in the field all day. Dog, $100 check was dope back then. You know what I mean? Back then I was like, I got $100. Hell yeah! I'd never rubbed $2 together before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'd pick whatever check was the biggest and be like, all right, here, you can have this little one. You know what I mean? So we got money out of it. We bought our own school supplies. Bought our school supplies. My little brother, he wasn't old enough to work in the fields yet when our first year. So me and my sister would pitch in and buy him his school supplies and school clothes, shoes, all that. We covered all that. Our parents didn't have to cover that. This is a 9-year-old kid, bro. 9, 10-year-old kids buying their own school clothes. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I was raised, dog. So I was raised a hustler. Like that's one thing I'll give to my father, right? That's about the only thing I give to him. He raised me to be a hustler, bro, and a hard worker. I've always distinguished myself as a hard worker. I walk in a room and I always feel like I have to be the hardest worker. You know what I mean? I don't care about being the smartest. I just have to work the hardest. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know. Like I got to prove myself everywhere I go. You know what I mean? It's that mentality that he kind of just bred into me from childhood, bro. It's just like you have to work harder. And those lessons came with some kind of cost. You know what I'm saying? Like it was. I remember when I was a kid, bro. This is 6, maybe 5, maybe 6 years old. Might have been 5 because I don't think I was going to school yet. But we used to work in the orchards. My dad was a field worker, dog. That's how the whole Idaho, California thing happened. My parents, when they met, they were seasonal workers. So they would be in Cali, stay there for a season, and then head out here to Plymouth, do seasonal work, and then head back, right? So it was always orchards.
Are they doing stuff in California like in our wintertime then?
I believe so. I think it was like grapes or some shit.
Oh, okay.
I really never asked too much. It was just a story that I got. But he did a lot of that shit, bro. And so he would take me everywhere, with him. And so when we were doing I think it was apple. We were picking apples. My uncle, rest in peace of soul. My uncle was working out there, and my dad was a tractor driver, and so he'd pull up and be like, "Here," he'd drop me off, and he would tell my uncle, he have him help you, and he would give me this little shoulder carrier for the fucking fruit, and that fucker would always tell me, if you don't do as many pounds as your uncle does by the end of the day, because that's how you did it right. I mean, you filled the bucket, you went, weighed it, and then you dumped that bitch. But he said, if you don't do as many pounds as him, I'm gonna beat your ass. You know what I mean? So that's running through your mind all day. Like, damn, man, I don't want to, because he was vicious, dog. He was a house Hitler, bro.
Really?
He was rough, dog. He would whoop your ass, dog, and smile about it. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where I had to be on point, dog. I had to be on point every day. Just like I have to. And my uncle would be like, no, he's good. He did his work or whatever, But that always taught me just to hustle hard, bro. Just, you're going to do it. Just balls out, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Get it done or you get your ass handed to you, kind of thing.
Yeah. Is that how your dad grew up then? Like in his family? Like his dad was
That fool.
pretty rough,
That one thing I'll
ruthless, or
tell you,
what?
bro. He never met his dad.
Oh,
From
okay.
from from what I'm told,
Yeah.
he never met his father. He died when he was a baby. He was actually he named me after him. Um, and he was actually the second one of his namesake in his family. He had an older brother. There was 14 of them, I believe. He had an older brother that died with that name, and so they ended up naming him after his.
Your dad
older
has
brother.
14 siblings?
13 siblings.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Gosh, dang.
Yep. Yeah, and he was the baby.
Okay.
And he got treated like shit. He told me some stories growing up. Right, I overheard really, not really so much him telling me, but me overhearing the conversations. I think more stories that my mom told me. You know what I mean? Of just the absolute just beat downs that they would give this kid, bro. It was his older brother, man, who just would make him fight kids, and if he lost, he would whoop the shit out of him, dog. There was one instance where he kicked him so bad, that he was bedridden for, I think it was like 2 weeks.
Oh,
Just
dang.
kicked the shit out of my dad, bro. Just a little kid, because he lost a fight or some shit. You know what I mean? So he grew up, man. It was tough. They wouldn't let him eat the table, I believe, because he chewed with his mouth open. So they were like, "You can't eat at our fucking table, homie. You got to go over there and eat on the floor and shit." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was treated like shit, bro. He was treated like shit. And it's one of those things where we talked about, you hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so what he did is I think he just continued that as he had children. You know what I mean? He just kept. I don't know what it was, man. That he just. I think it was the loss of control as a child. That drove him to have control over everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was a fucking tyrant, man. He was a hell of a tyrant, bro. Hell of a tyrant. We had a name for the ass whoopings we get every day. Call them daily putazos. You know what I mean? Because we knew it was coming. It was just, how do we minimize the ass whooping? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, you got used to it. At some point, we just got used to it, dog. Like anything else, you beat a dog enough, he just grows numb to it.
Yeah.
Type shit. You know what I mean?
So you guys went to Mexico pretty often then? Every year or what?
We did go every year, and but that was what? I think we did that like maybe 4 or 5 years in a row. And then after that,
Was that like the real parts of Mexico, not like the touristy parts?
right, the real parts, like where my mom's from Tepic, Nayarit, right? And so her whole family's out there. My dad doesn't really have. I mean, he has his brothers and sisters, but it's a very dysfunctional family. His mom passed away. Rest in peace, my grandmother's soul. Like I said, his dad was dead. Most of his brothers were out here. He has sisters out there, but they don't see eye to eye. So we didn't really. We visited a few times, where he was from, where I was born in Morelia. Beautiful place, man. Have great memories of our visit out there. But for the most part, we would stay where my mom's family was, and they built a house out there. And yeah, we would live just like them. Because we'd go out there for. I always say this. In my head, it always felt like 3 or 4 months, and I always say it's not 3 or 4 months, but my mom tells me it was like a month, month and a half. It's like, hell no, dog. It just because it feels different, dog. You get there, and there's this period of I don't know anyone. You know what I mean? It's like a good week or two. The good thing is I had enough sisters, or brother and sister, to kind of keep each other busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we made friends, and then you start just living life like them out there. You guys go to the same supermarket, or you go to the same events. You really become part of the community, and then. Hey, we're leaving. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things too. I think, and I think that helped us adapt a lot in life. Was kind of just disturbing the growth that and then you're out. You know what I mean? Because at that point, then it's like I just made these friends. Now I got to mourn my friends and go back to, back to America. It's just the living is so much different, bro. Yeah. I mean, even just like as soon as you cross the border, you just. The smells and the scent, the sense you get you feel like you just crossed the border. It's a weird feeling, dog. I haven't been there in forever, but I just remember those feelings when I was a kid, man. And yeah, we'd go out there, man. We'd vacation for a good while, dude. We'd go out to beaches, and we went out there one year for my sister's quinceañera. And I remember it because the blowout of the century, dog. I think my parents saved up. I don't know, man. It was tens of thousands. I think they spent like 30 grand
Yeah, quinceañeras go crazy.
on a quinceañera, bro. It was wild, bro. It was wild, dog. It was crazy, man. It was a good time. It was a good time. I think all our important things, most of them we did out there. Like the quinceañera was out there. Our first communion was out there. There was baptisms out there. I mean, we did all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it up when we went out there, man. 2 or 3 months at a time.
Why are quinceañeras so important? Or like they're just such a big thing. What is it? What
I'm
is
glad
it about
you said that, bro. I'm glad you said that because I have differing thoughts, right? And I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit from my paisanos and those who whatever. But fuck yeah, I was born there. I'm more Mexican than you. Kick rocks. I don't get it. The way I see it, bro, it's a dick measuring contest between the parents of the quinceañera and everyone else. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? Like, as a man now, I don't understand the reason behind a lavish quinceañera. And you need to buy all these dresses and you need to invite all these fucking people. Right? You're spending 10, 15 minimum 1,000 for a night.
Yeah. And
right?
that's what, turning 15, right?
You turning 15.
Yeah.
You're a kid still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I see things different myself, man. And
is in Mexico, like, is turning 15 like more valued than it is in America? Like, is there a bigger significance of turning 15?
I think at one point it was. It's the same shit. It's a child, dog.
Yeah.
But I think at one point it was celebrating a woman's or a young girl's womanhood, right? Coming into womanhood. I think 15 is too early myself, but
yeah,
that's the culture, right?
Right.
And I think it started as something beautiful. Let's celebrate her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it just became a pissing contest, man, of people just spending a shit ton of money that they don't have, right? Because a lot of what I see now, like when I was growing up, you did a quinceañera, you paid for most of that shit, right? There's certain things you get like godfathers for, right? Padrinos. And there's certain things like the cake, you get a padrino for the cake. There's jewelry exchange, you get someone to do that, right? And so she has certain padrinos for that. Nowadays, dog, they have people ask padrinos for everything, right? I've been asked so many times if I wanted to contribute to be a padrino. Oh, well, you can put money for this or for that or for, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's nowadays people throw them.
That's pretty much like an investor.
Pretty much, dog. But like, yeah, invest in what? A 15-year-old riding a horse? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the pissing contest.
What's the craziest one you've been to?
My sister's.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was wild, dog. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. It was yeah, they rented a whole country club.
Oh shit!
A whole country club, dog, in
Mexico.
Yeah, and my dad had bottles by the cases coming in.
Oh,
and he was just every table got bottles.
Hundreds of people there.
Yeah, this is you see shit when you throw events like this, man. You see some wild shit, bro, and you really start noticing people's just how do I put it, man? Just their dog shit, bro. Like there was people, my family, dog, like my extended family members, aunts, uncles, and shit. They were grabbing bottles and just like put them in their bags and shit, and then calling
like
the waiter
parting
over.
Favors or whatever.
Yeah, and then calling the waiter over. Hey, we didn't get a bottle.
Oh,
so they bring another bottle and so they're just pocketing shit. You see people pulling out like Tupperware and just fucking. You know what I mean?
Gosh.
It's wild, dog. I'm just like, what are you doing, bro? You're in the middle of a party. Just eat what you're gonna eat, drink what you're gonna drink, and get the fuck out. You know?
Yeah.
It's wild, dog. But no, I mean, I don't get it, dog. It's a, you got to show off, and if you got the money, more fucking power to you, right? If you got the money and you want to throw your baby girl a lavish thing, more power to you, homie. That's dope. I just nowadays it's become some ridiculous shit where I think parents feel like they have to,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like they have to keep up with the Joneses type
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying?
Is it the parents more wanting it than even the daughter
I feel
turning
like a
15?
lot of it is, bro, and I feel like a lot of when it is the kid is feeding off of the mom and the dad, right?
Mm.
And look, my daughter's 15. She's about to turn 16. I didn't do a quinceañera.
Yeah.
Um,
Do people look at
if
you differently because you don't do that for your daughter?
I definitely got a lot of shit, bro. I definitely got, but here's the thing: financially, I couldn't afford that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, even if I could, I wouldn't have done it. And I've explained this to her, and we've talked about this, and she was like, "I'm good. I don't need one." Right? You're romantic, and this is my point of view. Again, I'm just gonna put this is my point of view.
Yeah.
You have your own. Everyone has their own, right? But in my point of view, I'm not romanticizing the age of 15 to my daughter. Right? It's the same thing the movies do to women with romanticizing men. Right? We're not that guy. Right? I do my best to prepare my children for the world at hand. Not fake it till you make it type shit, you know? It doesn't work, man. I get shit a lot for it. You know, I get a lot of shit for it. Like when I said I wasn't doing a quince, even my mom was like, "You have to." And honestly, it made me fucking angry every time somebody told me I had to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a defiant person, dog. If you
Yeah.
tell me I have to, I'm be like, "Do I?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't have to do a fucking thing, homie. I'm not showing her that you're a fucking princess, right? She knows she's my princess, but I'm not giving her a world that is never gonna exist.
Yeah.
I need to prepare you for the world that's coming. You know what I mean? Same thing with my son, dude. I get a lot of shit for how rough. I guess rough. I am with my kid, right? I love my child, dog. Anyone that knows me and has seen me interact with my kids, they know I fucking love my kids. I'm a helicopter parent, right? I have to make sure they're 100% all the time, man. But that doesn't mean I shield them from shit. You know what I mean? They get it. How the world's gonna give it to them, and you know I've been told a lot. Just take it easy on him. You know, like he's learning, and I'm like, I get that, but I'm trying to get my son ready for a world that doesn't care about men.
Yep.
And that's the sad truth. No one gives a shit when your stomach hurts. No one gives a shit when your heart hurts. You know what I'm saying? No one gives a shit when you're internally combusting, right? Or you're fried. No one cares. You have to get the fuck up. You have to show up every day and get that shit done.
Yeah.
Grieve, cry, wince on your own fucking time. Because this world doesn't give a fuck about a man. Right? It's different because if a woman cries, everyone will come over. Are you okay? Is everything okay? A man cries, and 90% of people are gonna go.
Buck up, dude.
He's got to get his shit together, homie.
Yeah.
You better fucking strap it up, Holmes. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's the world, dog. And that's why I try to get my kids ready for that shit. You know what I mean? My son's a very emotional kid, dog. Very emotional. I get it. I'm an emotional person myself. You know, I've learned to get those emotions in check, but very emotional person. His mom is an emotional person. So he gets it from her, bro. And there's just those times where I've had to tell him, "Hey, man, it's time to sack up, homie. You know what I mean? Get your shit together, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I told you about the time he got in trouble at school, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So this was probably like maybe 3 months after I moved him out here to Nampa, to the school district, and I pick him up from school, dog, at the bus stop, and we're walking back, and he starts telling me, he said, "I did something today." I said, "What's up?" And he had been telling me, like, you know, I think maybe for weeks before that some kid was messing with him at school. I kept messing with him. So I was telling him, okay, well, punch him in the fucking face, right? He's like, "Well, I don't want to get in trouble." I don't give a fuck about you getting in trouble, homie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stand your ground, dog. Stop letting people walk all over you. That's it. Punch him in the face or walk the fuck away, son. You choose, right? There's two courses of action. You punch this motherfucker in the face, and hopefully he leaves you alone and learns his lesson. Or you walk away and you realize, I'm not fucking with this dude. I'm not giving him the time of day. he's not going to cost me my peace, I'm out, right? And you avoid him.
Yeah.
Pick one. But this complaining every day, this shit doesn't fly. You think I want to hear this shit when I get home? I don't want to hear it, dog. The world doesn't want to hear this shit, right? I'm sorry that this shit, but, you know, there's two options, buddy.
Yeah.
Handle your shit.
Yeah.
All right, Dad. And just day after day, and this day it comes, and I did something. I said, what's up? He said, this kid was fucking with me at school today. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and I just, you know, I've had it with him. And I was like, okay, all right. And we're walking home. And he goes, and I said something on the bus to one of my friends. And I was like, okay. And this is where he gets emotional, dog. And it's the hard breath every time. Every time he talks to me, and he goes, I'm like, shit, what's coming next, right? I was like, all right, what's up, buddy? And and he's just, his voice is cracking, and I was like, something's going on here, dog, right? And I don't know why I said it, but I said, just tell me, bud. Like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he's like, I was like, you can tell me, dude. Like, you're not gonna get in trouble by me, right? I mean, what'd you do? Like, threaten to stab the kid or something?
Yeah.
And I laughed, right? And I was like, my daughter laughed. And he looks up at me, dog, and he goes, I said, what the fuck, son? What do you mean? He said, I was on the bus and I was talking to my friend, and I told him, oh, he makes me so angry, that the kid makes me so angry. He wanted to pull a knife out on him or something like that. And I was like, what? Why would you say that, dog? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, dog. I was like, babe, buddy, don't ever say that again. You don't say that kind of stuff, man. That's somebody's child.
Yeah.
You don't say that,
Yeah.
right? I get you frustrated. You don't say that shit, homie. You just don't. That's just not cool, right? Like I said, fight him or walk away. One or the other. But don't be threatening. I was like, you think that kid is going to go home and not tell his mom? You're going to get yourself in trouble. Stop talking like that. All right?
Yeah.
Don't say that shit, dude. You're going to get in trouble. He's going to go home. He's going to tell his mom. And you're going to get in some shit. He's like, all right, Dad, I won't say it anymore. And I was like, cool, man. Don't say shit, bro. Just chill out. You get home. He goes into the room. I get a phone call like 5 minutes later. Vice principal. I think it was vice principal or superintendent. Something like that, dog. And I was like, yeah? Are you Aiden's dad? And I was like, yeah. Okay, I'm glad I got a hold of you. It was like, it was 5:30, right? So school's closed. But she's like, there was an incident that happened on the bus. And I was like, this motherfucker. And so the kid had snitched on him, bro. His homie had snitched on him, like I told him he was going to, right? And so she's like, you know, we need to have him come in for an evaluation to see if he's a threat at school. And I'm like, my kid is anything but he's the sweetest kid in the world. You know what I mean? He just chose his words wrong. And I was like, of course, for sure. Like, we'll be there tomorrow. She's like, I need you to come with me. And I was like, for sure. I'll be there with him. No problem. I decided to scare the shit out of him, dog. Because when I was growing up, I never gotten like in deep shit like that, bro. Like, the deep shit came later on in life, right? I didn't want that for him, bro. I don't want him to be a teenager and be doing stupid shit where he can catch a little bit of time, right? Because by then, it's you know, if you don't have a consequence before that, you're bound to just do that shit, and then you throw away your life. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hand him his ass on this one. I'm gonna really, you know, I always tell him, I'm gonna make you live that life, right? And so I go to his room, dog. He's eating a fucking sandwich in his room. He never eats in his room, dog. He just was like, man, I think he was in there thinking like, shit, I shouldn't have said that, right? And I opened the door and I was like, the first thing that came out of my mouth, dog, was, you're fucked, homie. And he's like, what? And I was like, your vice principal just called me. You're fucked. And he just immediately breaks down and starts crying, bro. Breaks down and starts crying. And I was like, what are you crying for now? Time to man up, homie. You want to say some wild shit, right? You want to be wild. You want to be crazy. You want to say some wild shit, right? Now you're going to live that life, homie. Now you're going to, and man the fuck up. Man your ass up. And he dropped on the floor, dog. No, Dad, I'm sorry. And And I remember I picked him up. I grabbed him by the fucking collar. And I picked him up and I was like, get your ass up, homie. Get up. You wanted to say some man shit. Now it's time to man the fuck up. Now I need you to man up. Stop crying and you're gonna man the fuck up. We're gonna go in there tomorrow. You're gonna face the music. And whatever comes, you're gonna take that shit like a man. And I don't want tears. I don't want any crying. I don't want nothing but you to man the fuck up. Because you think you can be here saying some wild shit. You think you can sit there, you can threaten somebody else's child, homie? How do you think I would feel if somebody was threatening you? Right? I was like, you don't make empty threats like that. That's just not cool. And now you got to buck the fuck up. Right? I was like, so, I don't know what to tell you, kid. But you're going to man the fuck up today. And I closed the door. And I left, dog. And I remember I was out in the living room. Actually, I was drinking at the time. I remember going outside, man, and I must have gone through 3 or 4 16-ounce cans, right? Just stressing, bro, smoking, feeling like a failure, right? Just like, fuck, man, I worked so hard to give them everything I never had, right? Financially and just being there, like, you know what I mean? Like, as a father, bro, something I never had. Some shit, you know, like, I worked very hard, and I'm just like, I'm failing my kid, bro. You know, I think we've all had that moment of like, fuck, how did I fail my kid? You know, boggle my fuck. I was like, what could I have done different, right? And I'm just like, you know, I talked to my girl, and she was like, you're doing great. This shit happens. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. It's gonna be fine, babe. He'll make it. And I was just like, fuck, man. I let him stew for like probably like a good 2 hours, dog, and he's in there crying. He thinks he's going to juvie. This motherfucker, he thought he was going to juvie, you know? Because I told him, I was like, you'll call cops on your ass. It's over, homie. You know? I wanted to push that as far as I could without, like, breaking him, of course. But I wanted to instill that fear so that he would never forget it. And so that he would make better choices, right? Because I when I had no fear, I was doing crazy shit. I was whatever, dog, you know? Once that fear caught up with me, right? Once that, you know, oh, fuck, I'm arrested. Shit, I got court. You know what I mean? Once those fears, like,
became a reality.
And then so I was like, I better get it together. You know what I mean? So after a couple hours, I go in there, dog, and he's just laying, dude, he's broken, right? He's just sad, man. And I sat down with him, and I was like, you know what you did was wrong, right, son? And he's like, yeah. I shouldn't have done that, Dad. I don't know what I was thinking. And I was like, sometimes, you know, your mouth gets the better of you. You say some shit you don't mean, right? I was like, but you gotta understand, man, like you can't make threats like that, dog. You can't do that shit. Right? And beyond, you know, it's somebody's child, man. You have to understand that. Like, how would you feel if somebody did that and they threatened you? Right? How would you feel about that? He's like, it'd be scary. And I was like, exactly, homie. Exactly. You don't make threats like that, right? It's just that's not it. That's not the man that I'm raising you to be, right? And that's why it's important for you to face the music and man the fuck up. And he's like, I will, Dad. And I was like, I don't want no crying though. No, I want you to like man the fuck up. And he's like, I will, right? And I was like, I told him, I was like, just remember, I didn't have anybody when I was your age to man the fuck up with me, right? But I got you. Whatever road this takes us to, understand that you're not alone. I'm right there with you, dog. Me and you were gonna ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. I'm right with you, all right? And he's like, thank you, Dad. I was like, of course. Now get some sleep. Because we got a fucking therapist to see in the morning. We go to sleep, dog. This is the funniest part. Woke up in the morning. I get ready. I feel like I'm getting ready for court, dog. Right? I'm in the room and I'm like, fucking, why do I feel like I'm going to court? You know what I mean? And I come out to the living room. Usually I gotta go. I wake him up and tell him, hey, get ready. I come out, he's ready, dog. He's sitting on the edge of the couch and he's just sadness on his face, dog. And I was like, are you ready, son? Yeah. Right? I was like, all right, let's get out of here. We pop up. He goes to open the door, dog, and he turns around. He looks at our dog, and he goes, "This is a funny shit." He goes, "Goodbye, Trey," in case I never see you again. This fool thought he was going to fucking juvie, dog. And we walked out the door. I thought he said that shit, and he walked out, and I thought it was the funniest shit in the world. And for a second, I was gonna go, "Bud, it's not that deep. You're not going to juvie, right? It's gonna be fine. We'll figure this out." But in my head, I was like, "No, I want you to sit in that fucking fear. I want you to learn the hardest lesson, because this might be the only time I get a chance to teach you a lesson. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And this is an important one. This is you can't say some wild shit like that. People die from this shit. You know, there's been massacres over shit like this. You know, and I won't have you be another fucking asshole in this world. You know, I want them to bring light, not fear. You know, so I was like, I want him to sit in that fear. I want him to understand what that feels like, so he knows if he ever causes fear to someone, exactly what they're going through. So maybe he'll think fucking twice, right? We get in the car, drive out there. I pull up. I looked at him and I was like, "Are you ready for this?" He said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Just remember, we're doing this together, right? Hand in hand, bud. All right, we're going to walk this fucking path and we're going to take it till the wheels fall off. We're doing this together. I got your back. Thank you, Dad. Ready?" Yeah. We jump out the car. We go in there. They sit us down, dog. And I'm sitting down with her, like across from me, like you. He's sitting over there on the couch. Now, across the room, she has this shelf with a bunch of fidget spinners, and he's huge into Rubik's Cubes. Who's got a Rubik's Cube over there, and me and her talking, and she sees him looking, and she's all, "You can play with them if you want." So he gets up, he goes and grabs a Rubik's Cube, bro. He's just, you know how they do it, like fast, dog, with it just moving and shit, right? He's doing his thing, and she goes, "Is it okay if I talk to him now?" Because she just asked me, like, is there weapons in the home? And I was like, "Well, we don't own weapons, right? Like, the only knives we have are kitchen knives. There's no pocket knives there. There's no guns. We don't do any. I don't conduct myself like that. You know, like my kids know if you're getting into it, these hands are gonna bring you in. They're gonna bring you out. You know what I mean? That's it. Like I don't condone using weapons or anything like that. Like I don't even let them talk wild like that at home, which is what drove me crazy, bro. And she's like, "Cool. Is it cool if I talk to him?" I was like, "Yeah." Wildest shit in the world, dog. She talks to him. She goes, "Hey, and you know why you're here today?" He goes, "Yeah, I know why I'm here." And to his credit, dog, he manned the fuck up, and I was so proud of him. No tears in his eyes, no, no crack in his voice, dog. Just matter of fact. "Yeah, I know why I'm here. I said this. This is what happened. I said this. I said it to this person." He said, "I didn't mean what I said. I just said it, and I'm truly sorry. I never wanted to hurt anyone's feelings or threaten anyone or make anyone feel any way. You know, that's me. I'm ready to take whatever comes my way, like a fucking man." He said this, bro, and it made me so fucking proud of him. And she was asking him like, "Okay, so what did you mean by what you said, though?" Right? She's delving a little bit. I shit you not, this motherfucker, dog. This whole time he's he's got this Rubik's Cube. He's going nuts, dog. And she goes, "Why don't you explain to me a little bit?" This motherfucker looks at her and he goes, and then he puts it down for a second. And he does this thing where he goes, "Have you?" Oh, he said, "Do you know what intrusive thoughts are?" And I'm just sitting there. She's there, he's there, and I'm just sitting in the middle, like I'm not talk to this kid, right? He goes, "Do you know what intrusive thoughts are?" And I looked over at her, and she looks at me, and I was like, "Talk to him. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on here." And she goes, "Yeah, I know what the intrusive thoughts are." He goes, "So," and he's going with the cube, dude. And he's like, "I was having some intrusive thoughts, and I kind of just let them, I said them. I didn't mean them. I'm sorry, but I said them. And whatever I have to do, I'll do it to make it right, Whatever he has a conversation, I'm sitting there like, intrusive thoughts, this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never fucking thought of that shit, dog. And she looks at me and she goes, "He's a great kid." And I was like, "I know. This is why it's so wild to me that this is going on, right?" And she's like, "I don't, he looks like he's remorseful. I don't think he's a serious threat, right? If he does it again, obviously we have a problem." And I was like, "He won't. I promise you. He's learned his lesson, whatever." And I think it was like 2 months after that, he got student of the week. and he's gotten it like 3 or 4 times since. He's on the leadership committee of his school, right? I mean,
Right on, man.
you learned a huge lesson from it, dog. You know what I mean? But that's why all that to say, you know, with the quinceañera thing, dude, I'm not romanticizing a lifestyle that my daughter's. I hope she lives one day, but she's not going to it. And, you know, I don't want her to value one night
Yeah.
like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to put monetary value on her life or her celebration.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's why a lot of the things I do, bro, I don't do a lot of the big vacations, expensive vacations. Not only because financially I can't afford that shit yet, right? But for me, it's more important to do things where we spend more time together as opposed to events, right?
Yeah.
So I want them to value life more than what a lot of people value it at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for a lot of people, life is about how much money I make and what I can do with it, and I don't want their life to be like that, right? I want them to live for experiences, to live for memories and time spent with those that you love. You know what I mean? And the quince thing was never gonna happen, man. It was just, and I'm not in a pissing contest with anyone. I don't have to prove myself to anyone.
Right.
You know, I don't have to prove to my daughter how much I love her by spending $10,000. And if I did, mind you, I'm not doing a quince. Yeah. I'm not paying for all these motherfuckers to party on her birthday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take those 10 grand. I'm gonna buy her a whip, and then I'm gonna take her on a fucking vacation.
Yeah.
Where we can make some memories. You know what I mean? Like it's a culture thing, right? They say it's a culture thing. In our Mexican culture. I feel like it's not a culture thing anymore, bro. It's just, you know, dick measuring. So I see, bro. I see every time I go to one, it's a dick measuring. Can you outdo him? Can he outdo you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And then you're feeding a bunch of people. Usually you end up with like 100 people more than what you invited because people let it slip, and then all of a sudden now you got people that you don't know in here eating all the food, drinking all the alcohol, starting some bullshit. First of all, if we're celebrating my daughter, why's everyone fucking drunk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are you acting like assholes on the dance floor?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not giving that opportunity. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the quince thing, but yeah. Anyways, backtrack. 30 grand on my sister's quince, bro. Fucking shit, man.
That's crazy, dude.
Crazy as shit. Crazy as shit. You know what the crazy? 2 weeks later was my birthday. And I asked for a little birthday party, dog. I got 2 24-packs of soda, and they were like, there you go. And I was like, the fuck? You guys just spent 30 grand on my sister. I get 2 racks of soda. Yeah. I remember I invited some friends to the house, and their moms made me food. They were like, oh, I'll put some food in, whatever. And I was like, you fucker, you know, like, Dad, you couldn't even buy us food. You know what I mean? Like, you fucking dick. Yeah, dog, but Mexico was interesting. It was good times, man. I learned a lot. And
yeah, dude.
It was dope.
So was it later in they're like teenage years when you started getting into like some trouble then? Fuck
yeah, bro. Actually, I had my first beer when I want to say 10. I want to say 10. We're in Mexico, dog. We're out there, and one of my homies, his uncle, was like, hey, go down to the store and grab me a sixer. So we go down to the store, get a sixer. He had told his nephew, hey, you guys can have one each if you want on the way back, but that's it. Way back, he's like, you want one? And I was like, fuck it, right? Crack that shit. And I remember just the feeling of a buzz. I never felt that before. I was like, yo, I fucking like this feeling. You know what I mean? It felt good. It's the first time I cracked one. I didn't immediately start drinking after that, right? But that definitely sparked something, dog. You know, but yeah, I mean, when I started getting in trouble, serious trouble, I kind of got in a little bit of trouble when I was younger, like in middle school. I used to hustle Mexican candy.
Oh, really?
Out of my locker, bro. So my uncle, rest in peace, his soul, he had a little shop at what do you guys call them, man? Swap meet. It was like a swap meet.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's like a weekend thing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had a bunch of Mexican candy he sold at the shop, along with boots and like hats and shit. You know what I mean? Like Tejanas, like the Mexican,
Yeah.
And so he put me in charge, and so I'd go work on the weekends. I'd work that shit out. And I remember I was trying to make money to go. We were going to Bogus Basin. That's it. That was probably, I think that was the only fucking year I went. That year. And I remember just thinking like, fuck, man, I don't want to be the poor kid at this shit. I need to pocket some money for this bitch. So, the idea came, man. I was at the shop, and I was like, I think I could sell candy at school, right? Because they would sell candy, they would sell suckers, they would sell sodas, whatever the fuck, right? So I was like, I mean, they were paying like 50 cents to like $1 for a sucker, bro. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I was like, I can give you a lot more than a sucker for that, right? And still make a profit. So I talked to my uncle and asked me, what do you think about, supplying me, and I'll open up shop right there at the school. And he was like, okay, but if you're going to do this, just remember you got to do this with the price so that you can pay me back, but you also have to have your own money too.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. So we set the price, and I opened up shop, and I was just hand and foot, dude. Every period, in between every period, or every break, man, every lunch, just open the door, and it's just flooded, and I'm just like, yep, here you go. And pretty soon, I think the school started catching on, and I don't know what their issue. Well, we know what the issue was. I was selling better products, right? They were upset that they weren't selling, dog. So one day I'm in class, and they called me out of class, and I was like, all right, come outside, dog. And it's a couple cops with some drug dogs in the hallway. I was like, what's going on? You need to open your locker for us, right? We heard like you're selling stuff out of your locker, and I was like, it's candy, right? And they're like, we need you to open it. So we'll go over there, dog. And I was like, fuck, I'm in trouble, because I used to jam my locker so I wouldn't have to do the you know what I mean? So
I remember that, yeah.
I was like, shit, they're gonna know that's in my head. I was like, they're gonna know I jammed my locker. I'm gonna get in trouble. They're like, oh, you jammed your locker, huh? They pulled a pencil out, and they were like, now you're gonna have to. Do you remember your combination? And I was like, I think so. And they're like, looking at the candy, and do you have a permit to sell this? What? I don't have a permit. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to confiscate it. I was like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? We're gonna take your candy, right? Because you don't have a permit to sell it on school grounds. And I was like, I'm just trying to make some money so that I can have some money for this trip, right? Like, well, you don't have a permit. And the principal's standing there looking at me, and I'm just like, what a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like, what an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, don't take it, right? I was like, I owe my uncle money for that, right? Let me just take it. I'll give it back to him. I won't sell anymore. They're like, nah, right? And they pull pull all my shit, and they sit there, open it, just dump it in the trash, dog. And I remember just sitting there like, it was just like this fucking light bulb, right? I was like, this motherfucker's really upset because I outsold his bitch ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just a momentary thought. I remember just thinking, if I can do this with candy, I bet I could sell drugs like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's what I knew, dog. I seen it my whole life. I saw them do it. And I was like...
And that was in middle school?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, at 6th grade. I think I could do this shit, right? Didn't happen for years, but I remember having that thought of like, I can move fucking weight. If I can move candy like this, bro, come on. If they're scared of me, come on, man. You know what I mean? That was my first like real hustle, man. Was selling that candy, man. Some people remember that still. Years later, people still. Remember we used to sell candy at your lot? I'm like, remember that shit, dog? It's crazy. I remember my ex-wife, man. She thought I was bullshitting. I tell these stories, man. She thought I was bullshitting. One time, we went to go meet a babysitter. To babysit my little man, actually, when he was a baby. And it happened to be one of my homegirls that I went to school with. I was like, and we were chopping it up, and she was like, do you remember when you used to sell candy out of your backpack and your blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah. And my girl and my ex-wife was like, you really did that shit? You thought I was lying this whole time? She's like, yeah. I was like, dude, we've been together for like 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I did that shit, bro. I was really doing that shit. Yeah, that was my first hustle, bro. My first hustle. That was my first little bit of trouble. Yeah, I mean, as the drinking got worse, you know, like when it settled, I probably settled in with it with like probably like 12, probably about 12, dude. And I had people around me. That's the thing. I was the plug for high school alcohol. You know what I mean? Like even like, and I wasn't like a popular kid or anything. I wasn't a fucking nerd either, but I wasn't on that scale like that. But once it was known, like I could get product of whatever they needed.
Yeah.
It's like, Rudy, can you get this for me? Hey, you can come to the party too, right? I just had people around me, bro, that I could talk to and be like, hey, can you buy me some shit? So I just remember, man, 12 years old. Yeah, I was down in. It was deep, man. It was bad, dog. I didn't. I see. I'm sober now, right? And you know that now, but you don't see those things when you're drinking heavily. You know what I mean? Like 12 years old, downing an 18-pack every day.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like, and at my worst, I was probably a case, maybe a case and a half a day.
Jeez.
A Budweiser, bro. Just. I remember for one birthday, I was 2 cases in, and and the only reason I stopped is I ran out of beer. It was 4 a.m.
So was your mom okay with it?
Hell no. Fuck
you
no.
were just doing it behind her back? Or was she busy working?
Working, bro. It was busy working. Around that time too, dog. That's kind of where life started falling apart. You know what I mean? That's where the broken home came in. Mom was a devout mom, man. She, everything she did, man. She did with the understanding that she was doing something to greater herself for us, right? But she was she was busy, man, and they worked a lot and shit. So it kind of just started as like, you're teenagers and you're just like, hey, let's drink a little bit. So we started drinking and shit.
Yeah.
And I never realized it became a habit. It was who I was now, And yeah, they didn't know, dog. They didn't know at all, her or my dad, but it was because, like my dad at that time, he was starting another family. He had like a second family.
Oh, really?
And so about 12 years old, I believe, is when like he wasn't around much anymore.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it got worse to the point where we didn't see him for months sometimes. Or if we did see him, he would just come back to drop off whatever car he had and pick up one of the other cars that had more gas and then take off again. It was kind of one of that was the beginning of it, dude. And I think mom was just kind of, she was a strong woman, dude, but I think, the only reason I think this is because this is how I am, right? I think she ignored the signs. I think she was kind of just like, yeah, just ignoring the signs, bro. Just kind of like, nah, it can't be that.
Yeah, right.
So she was kind of, she was doing her thing. She was just trying to keep us afloat, man. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. I started drinking, dude, and I think I just didn't want to face reality. And I just wanted to live in this buzz that felt so good to be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've always been an emotional kid, bro. Like I said, and I think a lot of things that I saw kind of wrecked me emotionally. And I think alcohol brought a stability to me, right? Or maybe it made me feel more comfortable feeling those emotions, right? Because when you're drunk, you fully give into the emotion, right? And when you're sober, you fight it. You know what I mean? You fight it. And I think that's where drink came in. It's made it easier for me to kind of process those emotions. You know what I mean? And she didn't know for shit, dog. She didn't know for shit. She didn't know until my first MIP. Yeah, my first MIP, dog. Fucking called her. I don't remember. It was like 2, 3 in the morning. Fucking drunk at the police station, bro. They fucking popped us. They caught us drinking and shit. And we were trying to meet some girls out in the fucking middle of nowhere, dog. We'd called a bunch of girls, and they were like, "Yeah, we're coming." Me and my homie had stolen a bunch of beer from the store.
Oh, is it that one?
Yeah, I paid for that motherfucker. But
Yeah,
yeah,
tell that story, dude. That's
yeah. So there was this fucking corner store, dog. I don't know. It was called Al's Corner Store when I was growing up. I don't remember. I don't know what it's called now. It was all Al's Corner Store. Behind there's an alley, um, and they used to leave those doors up behind open. So we creep back there in the alley
the door to the shop
to the store
Oh, okay.
open right in the back where like the alcohol is.
Yeah.
So we'd run in there, grab a case, stash it in one of the bushes, and fucking take off. And then later on in the afternoon, we come pick it up and we go party. So we had a bunch of fucking alcohol. I think we had dumped it out of the fucking box it came in and put it in a big ass fucking duffel bag for some fucking reason. And we had bitch beer in there and stuff because the girls, they wanted to like smear it off and shit like that. So we had a bunch of shit back there and we were just sitting out in the middle of fucking nowhere, dog. And I was so drunk, bro. I was just so drunk, man. And the guy that was driving us, I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he doesn't want this story to be told, but he was sober, dog, sober, and he was just driving us around. He was just, a cool homie, and then the passenger seat was one of my good friends growing up, and I don't know how drunk he was, but we were pretty fucked up, dog. We were just waiting for the girls to get there. See these lights coming, dog, and we're in the middle of a fucking field, in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, right? Over by New Plymouth, off the fucking side roads and shit. This light comes and we're like, hell yeah, here comes the ladies. Whoop whoop. I was like, God damn it. And we're in the car and we're like, fuck. And we see, and they just pull up right in front of us, dog. And we're like, fuck. And I remember my homie telling, we should run. We should run. And I was like, I'll fucking run with you if you want. I'm down. They're going to get me, but it's fine, right? I'm drunk, dog. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. You want to run? Let's run, homie. The driver was like, guys, please don't run. If you run, you're going to get me in trouble. So we decided, fuck that. We're not going to get him in trouble. We're already in trouble as it is, right? He's going to be fine. He's not drinking. So, yeah, they pulled us one by one, dog, and blood test. I remember I asked him, I was like, I got to take a piss. Can I pee? No. I was like, well, I'm going to have to pee in your car then. And he was like, go over there. So he let me, take a piss before he handcuffed me and shit. That was the first time, dude. She's like 3 a.m. She got and picked me up. She was pissed, man. She was fucking pissed. What are you thinking? I was laughing, dog. I was just like, hi, Mom. Fucking dumb child, dog.
You got a ticket for that?
Fuck yeah, man. I went to court for that. I got put on probation.
Oh,
for that shit. I remember it was like she brought me home. I'm sleeping. And this is, like I said, this is around the time my dad was fucking around. He had another lady and whatever, and they ended up having kids together. I remember I think he got home at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And he was in the bed. And this is what Mom told me. They were in bed, and our guy got up off the couch, and I ran to the bathroom, and I was just fucking Ralphing, dog. And he asked her, hey, what's wrong with him? Why is he throwing up? Right? And Mom goes, he ate something bad. Right? He's got a little stomach bug. And she was like, and your dad was like, oh, my poor boy. I hope he feels better. I didn't know that she'd picked me up from the police station.
Yeah.
At this point, it was between me and her. Like we didn't tell him shit because really he would just fucking sit there and, he would crucify you.
Yeah.
Right? He wouldn't crucify himself for the things that he was doing on the side. He's crucifying you for who you are, right? Not acknowledging the fact that you're not around, homie. Your son needs a father, and you're not around. You're out creating more life that you're not gonna take care of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought it was fucking funny that she covered for me, and he was just like, "Oh, that poor kid." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we did court and all that shit. We never told him. Went to court, went to probation. I handled all that shit. Never told him. Never told him, dog. And I was on probation. I got into real deep shit on probation, man. I don't remember how far in I was, bro. But I wasn't even drinking at this time. And I was kicking it with some homies on the outskirts of San Hollow. Yeah. On one of the homies' farms. I won't mention his name because I don't know if he wants this known or not. But we were out at his parents' house, dog. And it's a badass little farm. I think we were in a barn or some shit, or a shop. They ran out of alcohol. And, man, wish we had some more. I had a fucking court the next day for, I think it was that MIP. And for those who don't know, minor in possession.
Yeah,
MIP, right? And one of them was like, we should get some more alcohol, right? It's fucking like 3, 4 in the morning. And one of my homies was like, the one that me and him used to take beer from the store. He was like, hey, why don't we hit the store? Maybe the door's unlocked. And I was like, how fucking stupid I was, dog. So anytime my parents ever told me, don't hang out with this person, don't hang out with this person, like they're a bad influence, I always told them, dog, no one can influence me. I'm the only person that influences myself. So don't blame my fucking friends. I'm the asshole. I'll take that on the chin, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, let's go do that shit. I'm sober, dog. And we hit in. And honestly, I think I was kind of just like, the door's not going to be open. Let's let them run their mission, and then we'll fucking go, and we'll take off. Right? Mm-hmm. And we get there, and the door's locked, and I was like, damn. Not tonight, right? Homie goes, hold on, let me go check the front door. And I was like, what the fuck you checking? Whatever, dog, whatever you gotta do. And we're out back, dog, and it was a bunch of dudes that we don't regularly hang out with. There was one cat that was a cousin of one of the dudes, and we never met that dude before, right? And I'm in the back and we're chopping it up, and I'm like, man, just get the fuck out of here. Like, this is not gonna work, right? All of a sudden, you just hear the glass, and then the alarm goes off, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this fucking guy, bro, broke through the front window, and the door opens in the back. Come on. Gosh. So we go in, bro, and we fucking shopping cart that bitch. Full of beer, full of cigarettes. I didn't even smoke. You know what I mean? We filled that bitch, and then we dumped them in the trucks. Now we had 2 trucks. We had my homie's truck, stick shift, and then one of the other guys had their truck. So as we're coming out, they throw the stuff, and we're all fucking like, what the fuck's going on? Half the dudes jumped in the back of the other truck, right? The alcohol's all in the back of, I believe it was in the back of my truck, that they left me there with. I didn't know how to drive fucking stick at the time, dog. And my homeboy takes off, and I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So I call him, and I was like, dog, I don't drive stick. He's like, you better fucking learn real quick, dog. I said, fuck it, dog. We take off, man, and as we're making our way out of town, we can hear the sirens, and we're like, fuck, this is for real. We meet up in the middle of fucking nowhere, dump the alcohol, we'll come pick it up later. Me and this motherfucker got court in a few hours. Head home, dog. Mom wakes up. I'm getting ready. We're going to court. We go to court. We got probation. We take off on the way back. There used to be a Maurice's over in Ontario. And back then, I don't know if they have men's clothes now, but they used to. And I used to wear tight, polos and shit. So I was like, let's stop at the store. I'm going to get a shirt. I was like, all right. So we fucking stopped, dog. My homie calls me. And he goes, hey, did the detective come talk to you? Talk to me about what? He's like, so after court, did the detective talk to you? And I said, no, why? He's like, so when I came out, I was walking out, and this detective came up to me, and he said, nice shoes. Let me talk to you for a second. And he's like, and he compared my shoes to the shoe prints on the glass. And I was like, why the fuck would you wear the same goddamn shoes you kicked the fucking glass door open with, And he's like, well, he said, he's on our ass, dog, and he's going to come interview us at the school later. I said, fuck. I was like, all right, well, we got to get everyone together. We got to get a story straight, homie, And me and him have been through the ringer. We were going to say no, right?
Yeah.
Until it was apparent that we couldn't lie anymore. The other cats were just a bunch of good kids that got caught up with a bunch of assholes like us. So I was hoping they wouldn't crack. You know what I mean? So we got together. We're like, hey, real quick, this is our story. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
We didn't know that the strange kid, the one that was one of the guy's cousins, he had gone home, felt guilty about it, and told his mom everything. And she called the cops on us, on all of us, including her fucking son, right? And yeah, bro, we're just sitting there sweating it. I remember. After the phone call, we're driving home, dog. And at this point, mom was just tired of my bullshit, tired of all the court dates. Because I had gone, that was my first time I peed, but I had been to court several times for DWPs, right? Driving without permission, I believe it is, something like that. Like, I told you I started driving when I was like 12, dog, and I just drove everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. I'd get pulled over, and I wouldn't have insurance, and I wouldn't have a license, so, right? And I had like 3 or 4 of those already on me, dog. So she was tired of my fucking bullshit, dog. But I was like, I have to be honest with my mom. I can't fucking lie about this. This is something big, right? So I go, Mom, I got to talk to you about something. Poor woman, dude. She goes, oh, now what? And I told her, and she's like, you what? And I was like, we did this and this. We robbed this store. What were you thinking? And I was like, I don't know. Were you drunk? And I was like, no, I was sober. You know what I mean? Like the realization. I think she was just trying to find any fucking any little thing to be like, oh, you're so dumb. But she realized this guy's just a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? He's just a dumb fuck. Oh. And she was like, well, we're going to have to tell your dad about this one. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'll tell him. And she's like, ay, mijo, you're in so much trouble. And I was like, I know, ma. And went to school, dog, and they pulled us in, man, and they fucking interrogated the fuck out of me. By the time they pulled me in, everyone gave the fucking story, dog. I'm holding on to nope. I got there, and I had told my girl, baby, I was with you all night. What? And I was like, just say I was with you all fucking night, right?
Yeah.
This white girl was not gonna. She was not gonna lie for me. I don't think, but I was like, holding on. You got me, right? Fucking.
Yeah, you were my ride or die, or
yeah,
what?
come on, baby. Yeah. Come on now. And he's fucking interrogating. I was like, nah, I wasn't there. Really? Because your name was named. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. This fucker starts pulling out the affidavits, dude. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, go for it. Read them. They say everything. And I was like, fuck. I looked through them, dog. Yep. Rudy and blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck. Rudy and blah, blah. I was like, what the fuck, man? So at that point, you're beat. Yeah. What are you going to do? Fuck it. It is what it is, dog. And it happened to be, it was the cop that had a, issue with my family, dog. Mm. And it was crazy. One of my I believe it was one of my uncles or one of my cousins was in jail at the time. And this fool had gone into jail and told him I was weeping and I was crying during the interview. He told him that shit. He said, yeah, I had him against the ropes and I made him cry. But I was like, because when my cousin came out, he's like, yeah, I heard. Like, what a fucking piece of shit, dog. What'd he tell you? And I was like, nobody cried, homie. Nobody fucking crying, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I took that shit on the chin like a G. I said, fuck it. I did it. And I wrote affidavit and I said, I did it. And I told him everything that they had already fucking told him. Let's ride. Let it ride. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Throw the dice. Vámonos. What are you going to do now, right? Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, when shit hits the fan, dog, I'd rather fess up and be a fucking man about it and handle my business and then continue being a fucking coward. You know what I'm saying? That kind of pissed me off that he was saying I cried. I was like, fuck. You know how fucking frustrating it is to have to defend yourself from shit you didn't do? Yeah. Because they're like, you cried? No, motherfucker, I didn't cry. That's worse than saying I snitched. Please believe me. Right? like Chappelle. I was like, no, dog, I didn't fucking cry. No, I told him what it was, and then, and then we were charged with fucking, they charged me, him, and the other kid, the one that told his mom. The other ones, they let them. They didn't do shit. They were just accessories. They were just there. They didn't even fucking load the trucks. Mm-hmm. They were standing outside like a bunch of scared kids, right? Because which what they were. And so they didn't get charged with shit. They apologized later, like, I'm sorry, we snitched you. What are you gonna do, bro? You know what I mean? Like, it was intense. You know what I mean? Yeah. It sucked. I get it, whatever. But I was determined that if I was going to juvie and that kid was going with me, I was gonna fuck him up. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm whooping his ass day one. Fuck that fool. Yeah. You know what I mean? Actually, it went bad. And it went good because they had lawyers. I couldn't afford a fucking lawyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got lawyers. Their parents got them lawyers. We went to court, bro. And was I working? I was working at Jack in the Box at the time. Yeah, like we got charged or whatever. Or maybe it was just the investigation. Whatever happened, that made me change all the way around. Um, because I just realized like how much shit I was in. You know. Oh, and then I fucking told my dad, bro. He came home and I sat down with him and I told him, hey, this is what happened, and I'm in trouble. You know, the cops came in today and they know, and they took statements and they're gonna charge us at a later date or whatever. You know, but I just want you to know. Not that you're here, right? But I don't want you. I just want you to know. Mom thought it was important for you to know. This fool starts tripping, dog. He starts saying some wild shit, blah blah blah. This is on you. You're gonna handle this, blah blah blah. I was like, I wasn't asking for your help. I'm gonna handle this on my own. I don't need you. I just wanted you to know. Um, yeah, and that shit taught me a big lesson, bro. After that, I got a job at fucking Jack in the Box, and I stayed straight, man. Stay straight. I didn't want any more issues. I really just wanted to be done with the bullshit and kind of, you know, it just I was upset with myself for putting my mom into that. You know, it was enough she was going through,
Yeah.
dealing with infidelity and um, you know, being the only one at home providing and shit, dude. And then dealing with a fucking asshole like me, dog. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I truly didn't give a fuck in those times, you know. And I treated my mom like shit, bro. And there's a lot of things that I regret in life, and it was from that era. It was just I treated her like shit, bro. She would chase me out of the house, chase me to, you know. I'd be drunk, bro. Drunk. I'm coming home just to grab something, and I'm out. She'd come outside chasing me, bro, holding, like, grab me by my fucking collar one time. Like, don't leave, stay with me. Let's figure this out. Blah, blah. I remember just like throwing her arm, bro, and telling her to fuck off, you know. Me alone. I don't need you. I don't need anyone. You know. Just treated her like shit, bro. I believe at one point my little brother told me years later, he said he was so tired of my shit. My little brother. He was so tired of my he thought about fucking stabbing me in my sleep.
Jeez.
So that I wouldn't so they wouldn't have to deal with my shit anymore, dog. Cause it was just, you know, just bullshit after bullshit with me, bro. And yeah, it was a bitch, dude, and I told him, you know, I'm not fucking. I don't need anyone's help. I did it myself. So I did every fine I paid my on my own. Um, it was I did all that shit on my own, dog. And once I started Jack in the Box, like I really turned it around. I was paying my fines. I was doing good for myself. I got a car. I was making my car payments. I was doing better, dog. And I was still doing little side hustles and shit, but I was doing good, and but I was ready to go to fucking jail. I knew it was coming, dog. When it
Yeah.
was sentencing day, like my fucking public attorney told me something like I was gonna do like a year in juvie or some shit. So I had talked to my fucking boss at Jack in the Box, and I was, you know, I gotta be gone for a bit. And this fool said, I'm gonna hold a job for you. When you come out, come see me. I said, badass, thank you. And my baby brother was he was little, bro. He was maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5, dog. I could do all the math, but I'm not doing it right now. He was a little kid, dog.
Yeah.
I raised him, bro. I raised that kid. We were inseparable. I had him everywhere with me, and I remember saying goodbye to him and my mom. And we right before court, dog. I took all I had chains, I had jewelry, bro, just rings, bracelet, chains. You know, I take it off. I gave it to my mom. So I was like, Mom, hold that for me. Let me go do this time, and I'll be home. You know, and I remember saying goodbye to my little brother, dog, and it shit rocked me. You know what I mean? I'm a kid, dog. I'm a little kid and shit, and I'm raising a child myself. And yeah, saying goodbye sucked, dog. I was crying. You know what I mean? I was just like, fuck. You know, but I was like, this is what I gotta do, and I'm done. It's over. You know. So I was like, fuck it, let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. I we cried and we said goodbye and fucking time for sentencing. you know. And we walked in there, dog, and what saved me was their fucking lawyers, bro. Their lawyers did such a good job, and they got off with probation. And when it came to me, they wanted to give me the sentencing of like a year. And
Yeah.
Julie, I believe, was like the recommendation. And the judge was like, it's not fair. It's not fair that I'm sentencing him to a year and they don't because they have the money to pay up front and they have good lawyers. It's not right. So I'm going to give him the same thing I gave them. And I was like, word? Dog. I was so happy. I was like, I came out and I was like, yep, that's what I thought. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, it was crazy, bro. And I settled down after that, man. I settled down as far as doing stupid shit like that. But I had an underground thing going for a long time. I never got caught. It was, it was cool.
You said you were helping your mom pay the bills, right?
Fuck yeah. Yeah. My, I think it wasn't too far after that, man. My dad took off. He took off. He
For good?
Yeah, he did some bullshit, dog. He did some bullshit. And he got caught. And he couldn't face the fucking music. And he ran like a fucking coward, dog. I'll never forget it. I remember he wanted us to say goodbye to him before he fucking fled. And I'll never forget. I fucking said no. I said no. Like, Mom took us, and I was like, no. Fuck him. You abandoned us, dog? You haven't been around for years. Fuck you. At this point, I was done, bro. Me and him had a fucked up relationship. You know, there was one time where, just growing up, period, like, he would put hands on Mom. You know what I mean? And we would all, try to jump. But what do you do as a kid, bro? You know what I mean? You jump and you get smacked.
Yeah.
So he would just, I'll fuck you all up. Oh, fuck. You know what I mean? And once I got a little older, dog, I remember one time, he wasn't around much, dog. He'd only come to drop off a card, pick up another one, and he wouldn't spend time, bro. We didn't see him. I was out back having a conversation with my girlfriend at the time on the phone. My sister comes running back and she she comes back and she's crying and he's like, Rudy, Dad's here and he's hitting Mom. And I lost my shit. I was like, fuck this, I'm over it. So I fucking walk up to the house and I'm walking up the steps to open the front door and I just hear a fucking and something fall. And I was like, this motherfucker done hit my mama. Right? And I'm old enough at this point where I'm like, I'm not a little kid no more, homie. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So I walked in, bro. I'm ready to fucking roll. I walk in. I see my dad on the floor, dog. I was like, what the fuck? Right? My mom, she's little, dog. And she's standing there. And she's just looking at me. I was like, did you just hit this motherfucker? You know what I mean? Like, growing up, like, the way he would manhandle her, bro, it's fucked up, right? You create this fucked up vision. You scar the fuck out of children when you do it. Don't do that shit. Don't hit your women. That shit is not cool. That shit is not cool, bro. Walking away is so much better. Regrouping.
Yeah.
Conversating, right?
Yeah.
But I never expected that. Like I said, when she ragdoll before so many times when we were growing up. And I was like, I was like, Mom, did he hit you? She said, no. I said, you sure? She said, yeah. By this time, he's getting up. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. And she told me, just walk outside. I'm going to handle this. And I said, I'll fuck him up. Like, this is not cool. It's not fucking okay that he comes over and he wants to start some shit. Right? And what happened was, I had found out that he was smashing the same chick that me and some of my friends were smashing. She was just like a local scam. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck? And I grew up defending my father, bro. I grew up a staunch fucking supporter, right? So my dad, like, don't talk about my dad like that. And when I found out what he was doing, dog, it fucked me up. I was like, he's really out here cheating on my mom. It's crazy, right? And I couldn't let that shit go, bro, so I had to tell her, And I don't know if it was one of the best decisions I ever made or if it was one of the worst decisions I ever made. I always battle with that one because the destruction it caused was I don't know, but I can't put a word to it. It was fucked up. It was fucked up. Like, I told her I had to tell her, and she got super upset. You know, she was. We had a glass coffee table, and I remember her just ah, and just broke the fucking table, dog.
Oh dang.
And I was like, whoa, what the fuck, you know? And she was just pissed. And I remember when she did that, I was like, fuck, I think I fucked up. I shouldn't have told her, you know? And he had come home talking some shit. And she was like, oh, yeah, motherfucker. Wow, bitch, you know? So that's how that came about, man. And I walked in, bro, and I was like, I'll fuck him up. And he stood up, and he was like, what do you want? You want to get it? You want some? He said something like, I don't like clowns. And you're being a fucking clown. And I was like, fuck it. So I walked over to fucking hand him one, dog, and that's probably the only chance I ever got to fight him. And my mom wouldn't let me fight him, dog. She said, I can't let you do that. It's your father. You can't put hands on your father. I was like, I was going to, I don't know what was going to happen, dog. I don't know if he was going to beat me up or if I was going to fuck him up. But I knew that somebody was going to bleed. And I knew somebody was going to leave that house.
Yeah.
You know? And she wouldn't let me, dog. She wouldn't let me. And mine and his relationship was shot that day. It was over. That shit was over for me. You know, I feel like I was always just looking for a reason, and that day was enough. It was over for me. You know what I mean? He didn't come around much after that, and when he did, he'd come inside. I'd leave. You know, if he'd go out and where I was, I'd fucking leave. Like I didn't want to be around that motherfucker anymore, dog. I just held resentment, you know. And when he said he was leaving, I was like, "Fuck this motherfucker! I'm not saying goodbye later, bitch." You know what I mean? Fuck out of here. You want?
Yeah.
And yeah. It was a pivotal time in our fucking childhood, bro. Mine and my little brothers, both, you know. Pivotal time, and this motherfucker walked away because he did some stupid shit. And then we dealt with the backlash of that. You know? We dealt with that shit. People demonized us because we were his kids. We had nothing to do with the shit he did. Nothing to do whatsoever. But we were demonized for it. And it was fucked up, man. It sucked. And then, you know, on top of that, bro, he left my mom in massive fucking debt. You know, like I don't know how far after he left, man. It was one day, fucking this tow truck pulls up, and this dude comes out, and he comes up to me, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for Rodolfo." I said, "That's me." And he's like, "You're Rodolfo?" I was like, "Yeah." "You're 40 something?" And I was like, "No." Oh, I was like, "I think you're looking for my dad." So I went and got my mom, and he had taken out loans on a bunch of the cars that we owned. And so they went and picked up our shit, bro. And mom was just like, "How the fuck are we gonna do this?" I remember, dude, it was bad, dog. We were scraping quarters and cents, man, to get her to work on a daily, bro. You know what I mean? And then she'd pay your bills, and we're fucked, you know. I mean, it was times that I saw her starve, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it was tough.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was a rough time, dog. Where there wasn't enough food to go around. Yeah, that shit'll change you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just you know there's not enough, and you're hungry though. Your mom fucking feeds you guys, and you're looking around like, where the fuck is her plate? Wasn't enough, homie. You know,
Yeah.
and you're eating, but it's a fucking, you know, with a broken heart, bro. You're just like, fuck, I'm hungry, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was tough, dog. It was tough. So that's when I decided I was like, I'm fucking done, bro. I told her I was like, I'm gonna drop out. I wasn't going to school anyways. Just be honest, I wasn't going to school anyways. You know,
Yeah.
I was selling dope anyways. I told her I'm done. I'm not gonna fucking go to school. I'm gonna get a job, and I'm gonna help you pay for this shit. And then when we catch up on our bills, I will get my GED.
Yeah.
She was pissed, dog. She was like, "No, you're not fucking leaving. Like, I'm not letting you leave school." And I was like, "You can't really do anything at this point. I'm gonna do it. You know." I was like, "Just be okay with it. I got you." So I left. I got a job, so I was working during the day and then hustling in the afternoons. And I'd keep just enough money to re up, keep hustling. So I was just giving her money every week. Giving her a bunch of money, man, and she hated it, bro. She hated it. Because she would ask me, "Where'd you get all this money?" I'm not getting it working at a burger place, you know.
Yeah.
Where you get all this money? I never lied to my mother. Never. I told her, have I been hustling? And she was like, she knew. She knew what it was. Oh, her brother, her cousins, her uncle, they all did it. She knew what it was. But she knew there was nothing she could do. I was determined to do this, right? And she said, just promise me that when you're done, you're gonna get the GED. Promise me. I said, I promise. So we linked, we linked up, we pinkied, and there I go, man. I was fucking hustling and just throwing money, and here you go, here you go, here you go. And I don't remember how long it took, man, but somewhere along the road, I went to give her money, and she said no. And I was like, come on, man. I'm not going to argue with you over this shit. Just take the money, pay the fucking bills. I don't want to argue, Mom. Please just take it. And she's like, no, 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 no. We're done. And I was like, what? What do you mean? She said, we're done. I was like, we're all caught up. She said, yeah, we're good. Keep your money. And I was like, damn, bro. Like, it felt like forever. I'm sure it was just a few months, but it felt like forever, dog. I felt like, yeah, man, it was tough, man, I can imagine for her. You know what I mean? Like having a bunch of enemies, and I was a fucking child, dog. I was an asshole. You know what I mean? I was a dickhead, bro. Just getting into trouble, doing stupid shit. I can imagine, man. It was tough on her, bro. And my sister was going to college at the time. My little brother I think he was about to drop out of school too. It was tough, dog. And she said that, and it was just like, what the fuck? We did it, success, man. And we just hugged each other, bro. Just looked at each other, and we shared some tears, and yeah, she was like, "You remember what you promised me?" I said, "Yeah, all right." I went back, signed up for GED. I think I finished in like 2 weeks. Got honors, my GED.
Right on, dude.
Yeah, man, and fucking kept my promise. Kept my promise to go back get my GED, and by that time, bro, I had met my ex-wife, and life just didn't seem the same anymore. I didn't want the same things anymore. I didn't want to dress the way I dressed anymore. I didn't want to talk the way I talked. I wanted a semblance of a real fucking life, And I wanted a life with that woman, and I was like, man, I gotta get my shit together. Like I gotta make an honest woman of this chick, and I gotta fucking do something for myself. It's over. Like those days are done. I gotta stop doing all the hustling, all the bullshit. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was cool while it lasted, but it was just one of those things, man, where you grow up, and not completely, dude. I've continued to fuck off and be a dumbass for the rest, for the next 20 something years. I'm just now getting my shit together, but yeah, those are the poignant moments, dog, that just kind of make you who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those young,
some maturing moments.
Oh yeah, dog. Fuck yeah, hell yeah. Especially when you got a bunch of, you got brothers and sisters, and you got to look out for them, dog. You know what I mean? Even when they don't think you're looking out for them, like you're looking out for them, And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how parents or women do it. It's like a thankless job, right? Like we don't see everything mom and dad do for us when we're growing up. I'll say mom for me because it was just my mom's really, but well, we don't see it, dog, until you're older and you're doing it for your kids, and you're like, you little bastard, you don't appreciate shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, fuck, man, I didn't appreciate anything mom did. Like it was a struggle. That poor lady, man, 4 kids, and yeah, bro, 4 kids, and all by herself, dog, along with just being demonized by the world for our dad's choices, and dealing with a broken heart, bro. She broke that day when that happened with my dad, bro. When me and him were gonna fight, she completely broke, dog. That was the first time. That's the first and only time I've ever seen my mom break, dog, completely. Like, I didn't recognize her anymore. She was a selfless, amazing woman, dog, all my life, and that shit broke her to a level where I think she had to rebuild herself, because I don't know how long it was for, but she just wasn't mom for a bit. She just wasn't mom. There wasn't the that vibrance of life in her anymore. Um, even like things that, like even small things like cooking for us wasn't the same anymore. You know, the food just didn't taste like it anymore. It just the sharing, the laughs, the love. It wasn't the same anymore, dog. She was broken, and that was the one time in my life where I was like, "Fuck, mom's gone." You know what I mean? And it was one of those things where you're like, "Shit, how do I hold this down until she comes back?" You know, and I tried to as much as I could. I think we all did. You know, my little brother was my baby brother. He was little, bro. So he went everywhere with me. You know, from the time he was diapers, bro. I was like my kid too. I was fucking taking him everywhere. And it took a minute, bro, and just seeing my mom fucking fall apart, dog, it fucked me up because that's the strength. You know what I mean? Like that was the strength, and that's broke. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? But she rebuilt, man, and she fought, bro, so hard. We had it shitty for a long fucking time, man. There was no quitting that woman, dog. No fucking quit at all, man. She's crazy.
So what'd you do once you got out of high school then? Or
High
I mean,
school,
not like once you got your GED. What'd you do for work?
man, I did everything, bro. I've done everything. Done fucking everything, bro. I've worked at restaurants. I've worked fields, orchards. I did some automotive paint.
Oh, right on.
I did H2O graphics, construction, concrete, um, restaurants. I think I already said that shit.
Yeah.
Mechanic work. I
Just
worked
all
for
over,
paper
getting a
parts.
lot of
I did
different trades.
whatever, dog. It's the thing is like I could never sit in one place.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, I'd never had a job longer than the longest one was like 3 years, 3 or 4. I think that's the one that I left when I became a barber. It was my longest one, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I get bored and I want to do something different, you know. And so I had a shit ton of jobs. I just did everything, bro. And I went to school to be a pharmacy tech.
Oh, really?
That's what brought me out here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because I graduated. I was living in Ontario with my ex-wife and her family. And I couldn't find a job, bro, for years. Probably like a year or two. Couldn't find a job, dog. I was applying everywhere. Couldn't find shit, man. And I was just hustling the streets with my homies, doing a bunch of stupid shit. You know what I mean? And crackdown started coming. I believe like some of the gangs were getting like raided and shit by the FBI. I was hearing all this shit, man, and the homies were getting spooked. Like shit, bro. We gotta fucking. And then homies started getting fucking. They started getting locked up, you know. And at that point, I was just I didn't want the life anymore. At that point, I was just like, I want to get the fuck out of here, dog, and
When
do
did you have
something for
kids?
myself.
Was it around that
We
time
didn't
too?
have
You had kids at that time or no?
No,
Okay.
no, this is before kids, man.
So you want to get your life clean before you even had kids then?
Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing was. So I was watching. Got really into MMA, dog. This is like the Forrest Griffin days, right? It's like the Ultimate Fighter.
Like tap out?
First season Ultimate Fighter, right? I'm
Okay.
watching, and
Yeah.
I even got a fucking with the tax return. I got a fucking punching bag and fucking gloves. I really thought I was like, fuck, this looks dope. I want to do this, right?
Yeah.
And I did when watching the fights, and this fucking commercial comes on, Milan Institute, right? Blah blah blah, medical assisting, pharmacy technician. And my sister was going there at the time. She lived out here in Nampa. I was in Ontario still, and so I called her really quick, and I was like, "Sis, what's up, brother?" And I was like, "How easy is it to get into Milan?" Exact words, easy as shit. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, can you line me up with a meeting with the dean? And she goes, yeah. I saw pharmacy technician. I was like, dog, I'm already selling pharmaceuticals on the streets. I might as well make this legit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Literally what I thought in my head, just some fucking dummy. But I went and met and I fucking signed up and it was on, bro. And I was still living in Ontario. And so my ex-father-in-law, I asked him if I could borrow one of his cars to drive back and forth. And he was like, yeah, for sure, there's the van, but you got to pay for the gas. I'm not paying for you to go. And I said, cool. So I resorted to fucking robbing and stealing to pay my way through fucking school, ready to get back and forth to school from fucking Ontario to Nampa.
Really?
Nampa to Ontario, dog. I didn't have a job. How am I supposed to pay you? So, it's one of those things that I look back and I'm like, God damn it, man. I hate it, bro. And I feel like dog shit about it. But I have to be honest with, with the journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about the journey. And I did that shit, bro. And I didn't care at the moment.
Right.
Now I'm like, man, if I could give all that shit back, I would, bro. That's not the human being that I ever wanted to be, That's not who I'm teaching my children to be. And it was just one of those things. That's what I did, bro. And that was the journey that I took, So, I went out to school and I finished and everything, and I stepped into a pharmacy, bro. And yeah, by the time I stepped in, we had moved out here already. Because once I had got done, I was like, I told her, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. We're not raising kids in Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to raise kids here. I want a life. I want something for both of us. And so I moved her out to Nampa, out here to Nampa, and actually Caldwell, and we never looked back, Doug. I worked at a pharmacy for a little bit, but
wasn't for you.
The criminal mind, man.
Yeah,
it doesn't go away, homie. It was very, very tough, bro. I just knew that I was gonna get caught. I knew that I was gonna catch a federal indictment because of the things, and it wasn't worth it. And so I had.
Did you start dipping or something?
I started doing some wild shit, dog. And
okay.
Just realized like this is not it, homie. This is not it.
Playing with a lot of fire.
I was playing with the devil. You know what I mean? And I was like, I had a moment where I was like, I gotta stop this shit because I'm gonna catch a federal indictment and I'm about to have my baby girl. And it was all just
you just knew yourself because you
didn't. Let's be very fucking honest, right? It wasn't all I could do. I could have done something. But in my head, I was like, I'm doing this for my daughter. I'm doing this to get her what she needs, right? I think it's a coward's way out to say some shit like that, right? But let's be very honest. That's what I thought. You know what I mean? As a man, as a fucking grown man now,
yeah,
I'd have been like, fuck this, bro. I'm going out. I'm getting 2 or 3 jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, I got to do this, and I'm going to get, results. And so I did, bro. But it was just, it came to a time where I was like, I'm going to get caught. I'm going to go to fucking prison for. Get the fuck out of here.
Did you ever have any close calls?
Nah. No, I was very good, bro. And it's just.
Yeah.
My mind is, I never got in trouble for any of. I only got in trouble for the stupid shit I did. Yeah. I never got in trouble for
the big stuff.
The big stuff, bro. The shit that mattered, because I grew up seeing it. I grew up seeing it from them, so I learned from their mistakes, and I kind of, incorporated my own and shit, and so I never got caught for the big stuff, bro. I really, I think God gave me a break on that, and it was just one of those things like I'm over it, and it was a thing too where I was taking the product sometimes because the excuse I gave myself was I gotta make sure the product's good, and I crossfaded one time. And I remember I was in the bathroom, dude, and I was just fucking tossing. I dragged myself into the bathroom. I was chunking, bro, and I was just like, fuck, man, I don't feel good, And I remember just having this conversation with myself in the mirror, bro. And, at that time when I was doing shit like that, I used to go out on my balcony and I used to have conversations with God, right? And that day, bro, I was fucked up. I looked in the mirror and I just had this conversation, and I said, God, if this is not something you want me to do, if this is not for me, if you want me to stop this and just leave all this stuff alone, show me a sign, and no shit, at that moment, dog, when I said show me a sign, the light flickered. And it never flickered before, and it never flickered after. But in that moment, it flickered. And that was a good enough sign for me, homie.
Yeah.
I went to my room. I had a fucking suitcase full of stuff, pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
And I dumped that shit down this toilet.
Dang.
And I said, I'm done. I remember my little brother walked in on me. He was pissed, dude. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "It's over, dog. God told me not to do it anymore." So what the fuck are you talking about? You're stoned, right? Like, let me have it. I'll sell it. And I said, "No, we're not doing this anymore." And he said, "Come on, man. You're not the only one who likes to make money. I want to make money too." And I looked at him and I told him, "We're gonna make money, but we're gonna do it the right way. I'm not letting you go down this path. We're not doing this anymore." I just dumped it, all the weed and everything, in the toilet, flushed that bitch, and I was done. Done. I never fucking sold anything ever again. It's not who I am anymore. You know?
Isn't it crazy how God works, man?
It's crazy, dog. And yeah, and I never did it again, man. From that point forward, these fucking hands got me everywhere. And it didn't take me far, but far enough. You know?
Yeah.
Survived another fucking day and fed my babies. Kept clothes on my babies' bags. You know, kept food in their tummy.
Yeah,
Protected them. These fucking hands did it, man. It wasn't. I got nothing left from those days from selling dope. Nothing. Not a ring. They're all gone. No jewelry. No friendships. I got nothing left from that.
Did you lose a lot of friends after you got out of that game then? Like the people that you knew? Or
Not
did they
really,
just kind of fade off or
not
what?
really lost. More faded, bro. And not really lost. You don't think? Thank God. Honestly, I can say this and I can say this proudly now. Um, my mom did a really good job raising me, bro, and she raised me to be a upstanding, good human being, and a friend and just a person, dog. You know, and I don't have broken relationships like that. I really don't. If any of them, if there's any that I do have like that, we just didn't mesh. But real homies and shit, nah, I can still chop it up with them. We're still valid. You know what I'm saying? We're still cool and shit. It's just I moved on with my life, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And when I moved on, they rooted for me.
Oh, that's good.
Right? They were cheering me on. They didn't hate me for leaving. You know, when I would come back, they would tell me, "Bro, you've made it out, and you're one of the only ones that made it out. We're proud of you." You know, some OGs, bro, some OGs right now that are in prison. Some of my best homies. I remember telling me, I'm fucking proud of you for making it out, dog. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, it was always love, dog. No one ever gave a fuck about. You know, and the thing was like, I broke bread everywhere I could. You know, if the homies needed some help, I find a way to get them some work, or get them with some work, and we break bread. You know what I mean? It was always something equal. I've never been um like a dickhead in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always try to be as accommodating with my homies as possible. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so it was all respect. Always respect with them, bro. And yeah, I didn't really lose many. I just moved on.
That's good.
Just moved on with how I conduct myself and the man that I am and the company I want to keep. You know, because now I have children and I just certain company. People always ask me, can I come to your house and you cut me up? I no.
Yeah, yeah.
And then why not? I don't mix business with my family. I don't
Right.
bring people into my house. It's very seldom you'll see people at my house because that invitation doesn't come very often.
Yeah.
I have to absolutely be comfortable with who you are,
Sure.
because I'm letting you into the most vulnerable part of my life. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? These are my babies. These are the young humans that I'm trying to raise. You know, and all the mistakes that were made with me growing up, I'm trying to fix those and create better human beings. You know, with a
Yeah.
more realistic view of life.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to feel love, and I make them feel love. But I also want them to understand um, life's not easy. It's not a fucking movie.
Mhm.
It's not a song. You know, life life will chew you up and spit you out, and the best thing you can do is learn how to get back up, dust yourself off, and be like, fuck it, let's try it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, the world doesn't stop for you to have emotions or have an emotional reaction or a breakdown. The world doesn't stop for you.
Yeah.
You have to continue at the world's pace, and you have to adjust and you know, um, yeah, adjust accordingly. As well as I try to instill in them too, like life is what you make it. The company you keep, life is what you make it.
Yeah.
You know, um, Those are conversations I've had with my teenager. You know what I mean? Where she's just like, these people, they're my friends, but this and this. And I'm like, well, you know, life starts now. It doesn't start when you're in high school or in college.
Right.
Life starts now.
You're building your
As a young
foundation.
adult.
Yeah.
As a young adult, and you have to understand that perception is everything. And you have to proceed with caution. You know what I mean? And you have to be cautious with who you let around you and the energy you leave around you, Sometimes something as easy as cutting someone off because we don't mesh anymore. Energy is not there. It can be the greatest thing you've ever done.
Yeah, especially if you want growth and they're okay with being content.
Exactly.
It's not that you don't love them anymore, but you just want more.
Right. Right. And sometimes you have to love a people from afar, right? I always tell my daughter, you don't have to fuck your friends completely off. You don't have to tell them to go fuck themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can step back.
Yeah.
Maintain a little bit of distance because that's not who you are anymore. You're this person.
Yeah.
And you can love them from afar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Especially if they're doing things that you don't, don't go with your values. Or you're just like, I don't know, Dad, it's not really who I want to be. Then walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best thing you can do for yourself. I think one of the best things is just you got to learn to take your L's.
Yeah.
Nipsey said it best. Right? The losses we can't erase, the wins we gonna celebrate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, man. It's just you take your fucking loss. Take it like a champ.
Yeah.
One more loss.
It's experience.
It's experience.
Yeah,
Let's go. And that's the thing too, is I try to tell my kids, man, like so many times I've talked to people and they're like, oh my God, today was fucking horrible, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they stay in that fucking mood, bro. And one thing I like to do, and one thing I encourage my kids, like my family and stuff to do is when you get home, count your W's. Count them. Put your L's over here and your wins over here. By far, you exceed.
Yeah.
By far. So somebody cuts you off. Somebody's an asshole at work. You have a lot of work. Blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
You woke up. Your kids are healthy. There's food in the house. You have a job. You made good money today. You saw an old friend. You made it home safe. You made it to work safe.
Yeah.
Right? You get to spend time with your babies. You know what I mean? You got a dog that you fucking absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
All right, shout out to Trey. The W's out fucking weigh it, man.
Yeah.
If you just take the time to just get out of that mindset. You know what I mean? So much of what we do in life is mindsets, bro. So much of it is you're in the wrong mindset, dude, you're fucked. Your day's fucked.
I remember I talked to this one inmate one time and he's doing life, never has a chance of getting parole. And he's like, just remember that your worst day on the streets would be my best day.
That's right.
I'm
Perspective.
like, damn. Yeah.
Perspective, bro. And that's what a lot of kids don't have. Honestly, that's what a lot of human beings don't have, dog.
Yeah.
Perspective. You won't cry. You won't be upset about a bad fucking hair day. Somebody's not eating in another country.
Yeah, I just shared this morning on my story, and it was like, every time I hear someone complaining about their life, I want to take them to like a cancer patient and tell them and have them tell that cancer patient all of their sob stories. And if that cancer patient feels bad for them, then I want to see how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dang.
That's it, bro. It's just we get caught up in. I think it's a lot of the culture that that's prevalent right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The woe me.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a martyr. Right? Everyone wants that. It's attention is all they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where I'm trying to teach my kids, you don't need attention from anyone.
Yeah.
Just like you don't, like I do my best to teach my daughter, you don't need to fuck a man, right? Let me show you how to do an oil change. Let me show you how to change some brake pads. Let me show you how to do the maintenance. Let me show you how to cook. Let me show you how to clean, right? My son, dude, let me show you how to cook. Let me show you how to clean your shit, how to wash, your clothes. I don't want you to need a woman. I don't want her to need a man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I want them to be 100% with themselves. And this is something I found out, or I realized when I met my Marissa, right, my girl. I always thought, and I always perceived the relationship to be 50-50, right? We balance each other.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I met her that I realized you have to be 100%, both of you. You should be fine on your own. And I should be fine on my own. I shouldn't need you for anything. You shouldn't need me for shit. Because as we come together, there's no pressure on each other.
Yeah.
Right? You don't feel the pressure of, fuck, he needs me emotionally. Right? Or he needs me physically. Or he needs me financially. Right? There's a freedom to that.
Right.
We choose to be together. But we're good on our own.
Yeah.
There's a freedom to that, dog. And there's an understanding to that. And I think that's why, we've lasted as long as we have. And it's not long, but for me, it's been a fucking long time, dog. I don't even remember anymore. You know what I mean? But it's just that balance of we're 100%. And I want my babies to be 100%. I don't want them to need anyone. I want them, when they choose somebody, to share time with or their life with. I want them to make the right choices.
Yeah.
And that needy shit, I can't do that. I can't do that, man. And I don't want them to be needy.
Yeah.
I want them to be independent spirits and souls on their own.
Well, that's the thing as a dad, too, is like you got to set that example for who your daughter's going to go looking for. And then you need to set that example for your son of what he needs to be when he's an adult.
Right?
Or
what's
a man.
acceptable as a man,
as
an adult, right? As a partner, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and definitely, I think it's tough, man.
Yeah.
When they get to that, she's going to be 16 here in a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, 2 weeks. And
well, now you still have time to do a Sweet 16 then.
I got other things planned for them, but
how was it when you first became a dad? What was that like? I mean, you already went through a lot of maturing, but now you're gonna be bringing another life in that you're responsible for.
Yeah, I was freaking out, dog. I think we got close to the date, and I had a friend. His name was Gabriel. We worked together at the time, and I remember reaching out to him, dog, and I was just scared. And I remember I told him, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was trying to bitch out right before my daughter was born. I was like, I don't know if I can do this shit. So what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know if I can do this, dog. I can't raise myself. How the fuck am I gonna raise a baby? And he's like, kick rocks on me, like chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? You're gonna be all right, dog. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, I promise you. As soon as that baby is out and you see her and she's in your arms, nothing matters, and everything will click, and you're gonna become the dad you're supposed to become. That simple. Because I was like, how do you do it? How do you do it? And he said, you just do.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's fucking crazy. He's crazy. And as soon as I saw her purple lips, man, it was over. Nothing mattered anymore. It wasn't about me anymore, and it was about that child. It was wild, man. It's crazy. You see features. It's like, fuck, she has my nose, she has my lips.
Yeah.
And you hold her, and you're just like, what the fuck is, this is crazy, man. And that was the beginning of fucking helicopter parenting for me, dog. I wouldn't let people hold her for too long. Family would come visit, and I'm like, can I have my kid back now? You know what I mean? Like, me and her mom we were kind of a joke, or there was a joke about us with her family. They were like, oh, don't hold her too long. Rudy and Liz will get mad. Blah, blah, blah. They'll freak out. Like, they were just very like protective of our kid. You know what I mean? And it was crazy, man. It changed my life, bro. It changed everything. Honestly, like, I always say this shit. If I would have had my son first, I don't know that I'd be who I am. Because having my daughter, bro, when I did, you got to remember, man, I was still selling dope and stupid shit to try to pay for her stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted nothing to do with any of that ever again when she was born. I didn't want to fuck anything up. I didn't want to jeopardize shit. I was done. I was on the fucking straight and narrow. No more fucking illegal stuff. I just wanted to do the best that I could, man. I just wanted to fucking be everything I could for her. Everything I never had, bro. I wanted to be a dad, And the way I see it, there's two ways of doing it, right? When you're raised in generational trauma, right? You continue that path, and you continue to do the bullshit because you were raised in it. And it's an easy excuse to be like, well, I don't know any better.
Yep.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You're a fucking coward if you say that. I don't know any better. You do. You do because you're the product of a broken home. You're the product of a broken man that broke you, right? So you either stop that shit or you continue on the cycle. And we see that a lot. The continuance of a cycle, man. And I didn't want that. So I knew I wasn't gonna fucking be that. I knew I was gonna be the dad that was at every fucking game. I was the dad that was gonna make sure she played sports, and I was the dad that was gonna make sure she was safe. That people around her weren't weird, right? That I kept that safe barrier. I knew nothing was gonna happen to her because I was fucking right there, and I would take the world on if I had to, right? Like that's my fucking baby. It changed me, dog. It changed the fuck out of me, and Gabriel was right. As soon as I saw her, I knew what I had to do. I knew, fuck it. If God came down and said, I'm taking her, I would have said no. You know what I mean? I would have gone against anything, though. I just knew that was my fucking job now, was to sit, to raise this human being. I'm done. I'm a grown fucking man now. I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to raise her now, you know?
Yeah.
And that was it, man. I just knew that was my fucking mission, bro. It was just to try my best to raise her.
It's the craziest job that comes with no instructions.
Facts, bro. Absolutely.
Like you have to you have to jump through so many hoops to get a car and, or to get your license. They're like, here's your human life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Here you go, buddy. Here you fucking go, man. You get, people say 18 years. Oh, you got a whole fucking lifetime left with this kid. You gotta do your best to impress upon them, the morality of being a decent human fucking being on a planet that's made to ruin you.
Yeah.
In a life and, around things that are meant to weaken you and break you along the way,
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, and fuck, man, all as a dad, you break here, you break there, but you keep building and fuck it and let's keep going. And you know what I mean? You either quit or you don't. And I'm not a fucking quitter, man. You know what I mean? It's not in my fucking job description as a father.
It's been cool, like just the last year and a half that I've known you, just to see like how you are with your kids. And I mean, like when I used to get my haircut early in the morning, you'd have your son with you, and then, like I've heard a lot of the stuff that you've done with your kids and everything, and it's really really cool. And even in like the last year and a half of like you starting to get into shape and like you quit drinking, like that was a huge thing.
Huge,
and
bro.
Like yeah, you had never gone without drinking before, and then now you're
It was wild,
setting these examples for your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like those are the generational things that you're changing.
Right.
And that's our responsibilities as fathers or parents in general, is like, if it's not something that I don't want to hand off to my kids, a habit or anything else like that, like it's my responsibility to change it. Otherwise I'm going to pass this off to them.
Right.
And all the pain that I'm going through, they're going to have to go through, and then they're going to have to go through more pain of trying to figure out how to change it.
How to fix it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, it's our responsibility,
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. And there's a veil that comes with an addiction, right? Or I can only speak to alcoholic addiction, right? I don't pretend to speak about, any other narcotics and shit. Because I've seen some wild shit, man, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
But as far as the veil, man, that I had when I was drinking, it's fucking nuts, bro.
What's normalized?
What's fucking normalized? I mean,
Yeah.
As a sober man now, I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
And I'm around drunk people. I'm just like, what? What is he? What the fuck's going on? And I'm just like, I'm out. I get home and I'm like, guys, was I that fucking bad when I was drunk? And they're like, nah, you weren't that bad, but you were pretty bad. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck, man. The stuff we normalize, man. The behaviors and the risk that we put our families under.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, one of my biggest wins, man, after I stopped drinking was just driving my kids and my girlfriend home after my birthday party. Halfway there, I just had this feeling, and I call those moments of God, right, where I feel like He just touches me and goes, oh, message. And I just remember just having this feeling of like, I am fucking stone cold sober, homie. I'm happy as fuck.
Because you'd never been sober on your birthday
Nah,
before.
Nah, first time, dude.
Yeah.
My kids were in the back of the truck and they're bullshitting, they're playing, laughing, and my girl's sitting there chilling. And I was just thinking, like, the biggest W in the world is the fact that I can get I'm the one driving, and I know I'm getting my girl and my kids home safe. And it's me that's doing it.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just such a big W for me, dog, because, you know, from the age of 12 to 30, 37 now, to 36, I never went a day without, yeah, like you said, man, without drinking, bro. And at my worst, I was a case and a half, maybe 2 cases a day, bro. Every fucking day of the week, every goddamn day of the week, twice on fucking weekends, right? Just bad, dog. And the things that I normalized were crazy, you know. It just got to a point where I was like, I'm good to drive. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? What am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
what was it that clicked that made you want to quit drinking completely?
I had been saying it for years, dude. I had been telling my girlfriend for years, like, I want to quit drinking, babe. And she's like,
she doesn't drink, right?
No, she's not much of a drinker at all, actually. And she would just be like, yeah, you can. And the next day, I forgot. I was middle of drunk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, middle of a fucking drunk night. I was like, I want to stop drinking, blah, blah. But it was something I wanted to do forever. I just didn't know if I could, man. And it was just one of those things. I think one day I was just like, you know, I just kept saying, I'm gonna stop. And I tried weaning off, and it didn't work and shit. And I had talked about it, and my family had a consensus of like, wean yourself off because you know, it's tough. You've been drinking your whole life, dude. You can't just not drink all of a sudden. And I was like, I have to cold turkey this bitch because if I don't, I'm never gonna stop. And the last weekend, man, it was August. I think it was August 18th or some shit like that. I don't remember. Marissa knows. She keeps track of this stuff.
Yeah.
We were at the state fair, Idaho State Fair, and her parents were with us, and she had mentioned it to her mom that I wanted to stop drinking. And I remember just looking at her and going, "What the fuck you putting my business out there? You know what I mean? Like, why would you tell them? I don't want them to know my fucking shit, you know?" And yeah, they're having this conversation right in front of me, and I'm kind of like annoyed, like, "What the fuck, Marissa?" You know what I mean? And they're telling me you can't do that. You can die if you don't wean yourself off and shit, blah blah blah. And I just remember her dad, man, and I told her this, and I've told her this 1,000 times, you know. He kind of just pushed right in front of them, and they kind of just parted, like he parted them. He walked straight into my fucking face, bro. He looked in my face, and he goes, "If you really want to do this, you can do it." And he said, "I promise you, if you do this, you're gonna have more beautiful moments." He said, "Not that you don't have some already, because I know you do, but they're gonna be so much more beautiful if you can, and you can do it, Rudy."
Was he also an alcoholic before?
He was an alcoholic, and he's he went through his journey.
Yeah.
And she's told me about that, their past and stuff. And it was rough, you know, and he did it. And when he did that, he spoke to my soul, bro. He didn't speak to me as a man. He spoke to my soul, you know, because what I saw was a brother in arms, somebody that had that addiction, like I did. You can tell me all day, stop drinking. But if you don't have the addiction, I don't want to hear it from you.
Yeah.
I need someone like that, right? And I felt like a brother in arms to me. It'd be like, you got this. And the belief that he had in his eyes, bro, when he was staring at me. You know, I didn't grow up with a fucking dad like that, bro. So I never had somebody look at me like that. And when he looked at me, bro, like I saw the belief in me. And that shit, like, that was it for me. That was it, bro. That was the moment that I knew it was over. That was it. It was him. He's the one that did it. He's the one that got me over that hill. You know, because I was just sitting on top of that hill, just resting. Like, I don't know if I should. The way he talked to me, bro, and the solidarity we shared in that moment, that's what tipped the scale. And he said that, and I was like, I'm doing it. And I went home, and I drank the rest of that day. I told Marissa that was it. And there's still beers in my fridge. left from that day. I didn't finish the 18 pack or 20. I don't know what the fuck it was. I didn't finish it. So there's still beers in my fridge from that day. And I was gonna toss them the next day, but I decided not to because I wanted to remind myself. And they just sit there. They're just sitting in the back of the fridge, cold as fuck. I told Marissa, whenever you want, you can finish those off, dude. On a hot day, cold beer, and she's like, cool. You know, and they just sit back there, dog, and that was it. I never looked back after that. Yeah. Once I started catching W's, once I started getting my wins in, it was over. It was over. It wasn't even close. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't. I thought it was. It wasn't. At all. It wasn't even close, dog. I don't even think about it anymore. Fuck. I can't impose how much. It was nothing. Everything I thought I was going to suffer, it was nothing, bro. I went through a time where a doctor told me, years before then, that if I didn't stop, I was going to have liver failure. And I went home and I cried like a bitch. And I called my sister and I was hyperventilating. And I was crying and I was telling her about it. And I wasn't crying and emotional because I could possibly get liver damage or liver failure. It was because I didn't know how to live my life without alcohol. And I was on the phone calling my sister, crying like a bitch, a grown man, because I was scared of living without alcohol. That's what I thought my life was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be this supreme, amazing, fucking new life. I didn't know that, you know?
Yeah.
So when I finally realized, it wasn't fucking close. Not even close on me. My soul was there. My spirit was there. It was just, I had to wrap my mind around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just, the elevation I took mentally with that step, dude, there's nothing like it. I'd never go back. Not for nothing.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. It's been amazing. It's been a fucking blessing, bro.
Not to mention, like, when we were trying to track all the macros from the beers. You're like, I got to track my beers?
Yeah, I got to track my beers? I didn't know. I know so much more.
That's on me. I should have been more clear about that. But
I know so much more about macros and stuff like that now. I didn't know a fucking thing. I was just going off what you said. In my head, calories didn't calculate in the drink, right? I didn't think there was calories. Like, what do you mean? We got to track that? Yeah, there's calories in it. And I was like, what? And then I look, and it's 114 calories a can. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? I'm eating my calories.
And you were pounding how many cans a day?
18 at least.
Yes, I mean, that's, 1,800 calories?
Yeah, 1,800
calories. On top of whatever you're eating? Yeah.
Oh, more than 8. It's over 2,000 calories because it's 114
right.
Yeah. Yeah, on top of whatever I was eating.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it makes it hard to lose weight if you're not tracking those drinks.
Right. Well, and just.
And then the feeling you have, too, of like trying to,
there you go.
Sluggish. And
yeah, exactly. That was the biggest one, dog. That was when I could finally get up and be like, oh, shit, man, I'm sprightly today. You know what I mean? Like, that was crazy, man. And now I'm like, man, I don't want to fucking drink. You know what I mean?
It's nice having that freedom, too. Like, you're at a party and you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm leaving. And you're not like waiting for a ride and now you're also not the one that's making a fool of yourself or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, dog. Exactly. Making a fool of myself, fucking driving my kids home all fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. No, it's been good. I'm sure we could go on for a bunch. We've missed a whole bunch of stuff there of like how you got into barber school and stuff. But
yeah, that was a whole journey too.
Yeah, man. We'll have to do this all again. But it's been cool, man. Just listening. I mean, you're pretty much like a therapist, talking to people as you're cutting their hair all day, and you hear a bunch of stories, dude. So,
yeah, I got mad stories, man.
Yeah, we'll have to get you back in here, dude. But I appreciate you coming in and just spilling it, dude. There's so much value. These reels are gonna get chopped up, man. They're gonna be so good. There's so much wisdom, like especially from people that have lived the shit, not just talk about it,
right.
like, and can testify of like, dude, like there's a way out. Like I've gone through this shit. I've gone through the ringer.
Yeah.
And especially like on the alcohol part, is that it took someone that has gone through it to be able to help you out, and now you can be able to help other people out because you've gone through it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think the biggest thing is if you're gonna be an ally for somebody to help them try to get like sober, don't be a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And saying that is saying don't push it on people. You know what I'm saying? Don't push your values and shit on people. Let them. They're gonna do it when they're ready.
Yeah.
That's the thing is you can't rush somebody into something like that. They have to be ready. They have to want it, And they have to want it for themselves, not for their kids, not for their girl, not because of their relationship or their work. You have to want it because you genuinely fucking want it. And when you want it, you got it. You're going to get it.
Yeah, it's got to be their idea.
It has to be. It has to be. And I always tell people that because they ask me, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because I want to do it now.
Yeah.
You got to do it on your time, homie. You have to find the right time to do it and then fucking execute. And that's it.
Yeah.
Just execute and just count your wins every fucking day. Count your wins, man. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And the biggest, take care of this.
Yeah.
Take care of this, man. The
And
mental.
that's the hard part too, is like once you've gone through it and you feel so good, you're like, you just want to shout it to the world. And you're like, dude, I'm telling you, like, there's life on the other side of this. But if they, like, dude, on the fitness side of stuff, like when I lost all my weight, I was like trying to help my guys out like for free. And I was like, dude, I'll train you for free, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And they're like, those are the worst ones because they don't want it yet.
They don't want it.
You know?
That's it.
So it's like they got to want it. And, you know, for me, I think it's just, it's easy for me to talk to parents because I can relate, and it's like,
right?
do you want to pass this down to your kids? And if this is something that you don't want to pass down to your kids, then they got to like sit in that emotion and feel that of like, man, this sucks for me, bro. Do I want this my kids to have to go through this pain? Because we all love our kids, you know. Like, do I want my kids to have to go through this? And then that's kind of like where I think it starts clicking for people. Is like, when you do realize, like I tell people all the time, like I worked in a prison, and like people's environment that they grow up around is how they end up as an adult.
Yeah.
Like you always fail to listen to your parents, but you never fail to emulate them.
Right.
So like, this is what it doesn't matter what you tell your kids. If you're over here sipping on beer all day, be like, don't drink. That's all they know is like, because they still idolize you. Like you're still their parent and they still love you. Like even if they tell them not, be like, I think they're cool.
Yeah.
My dad drank, I'm gonna drink, you know?
Yeah. 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 It's you got to find,
but it's got to be within you. You got to make that choice.
yeah. And you got to find safe and healthy ways to be a role model to your child. You know what I mean? I think recognizing your downfall is the biggest fucking thing, right? You're just like, shit, I shouldn't be doing this in front of my kid. You know what I'm saying?
And then this day and age of like, you're not setting the role for your kids. They're going to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Or like online.
Oh, it's super easy. Yeah.
Who you want? You want your kids as teachers at school to be the ones mentoring them, or you want like a stranger? You want them looking on the internet for something? Like
some super dickhead online doing some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because these kids, they're more vulnerable than they ever have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have big hurdles to in order to keep our children safe.
Yeah, a lot bit different than you even had when you were a kid. You know.
Yeah.
You never have to worry about online and all these other things now.
Right. It's made it more accessible.
Yeah.
To get accessible to these kids, right? It's just crazy, man. There's things that are going on in the world, and that's why I try to keep my hand on my children's shoulder as much as possible.
Yeah.
And be there as much as possible, man. Because all it takes is a split second, and life changes forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, dude. I appreciate it.
For sure, brother. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm done.
Oh yeah.